Hello, squad. How are we doing tonight? It's PesterQuest time. Oh my god. Pretty sure, almost positive, pretty 100% positive, we're gonna finish the game tonight. Exciting stuff. How you guys doing? Duality, Willow, Merp. Managed to get a little into Solix's route, and wow, yeah, they just stalked a man, huh? Yeah, we did. To be fair, I would probably, well, I wouldn't be as socially awkward. I would be kind of socially awkward, but I think Reader was so, there's so much secondhand embarrassment watching the Solix route. Like, brother. Alright, I think we're just gonna hop right in. So, last time, we did Jane's route. And so now all we have left are Jake, Roxy, and Dirk. And then we'll be done, I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing. Unless there's like a secret volume that I don't know about, but I'm assuming that it's just these three guys left. So yeah, exciting stuff. I'm assuming we finished the game today. Yeah. So, and then probably after this, not tonight, but the next time we stream, we'll probably do Hive Swap Act 2, because we did Act 1 of Hive Swaps. We'll do Hive Swap Act 2, and then probably, I don't know, we'll do a different game. Kind of been thinking about playing Outer Wilds on stream, so, but that comes later, so yeah. Hi, Rose. Hi, I spent all day homesick watching your VODs this game. Oh, really? Oh, I hope you liked them. Today is in PesterQuest with Chris, and it continues to be silly. Let's go! Awesome. Well, okay, then we're gonna jump right in. All right, so it's time for it's Jake time, which I'm excited. I love this guy. Oh, that music is loud in my ears. Let me know if the volume. Let me adjust that a little bit. I think that should be good now. Maybe a little lower. You guys should be able to hear it, but it shouldn't overrun my voice. Let me know if you need me to change it at all. Oh my god, wait, it's Biclops. All you wanted to do was make a new friend, and now you're running like hell from a giant white creature with two heads, each sporting a single garish eye. Kind of like a Cyclops, except with two of the one-eyed faces, so you guess it's a duo Cyclops? Whatever it is, it's angry as hell and chasing you through a tangled jungle. You leap over a stand of ferns and duck under one of those big woody vines jungles always have. After befriending Jane, you asked her for the name of some of her friends. Not too many details, you made that mistake with Solix. Just a little tantalizing friendship, a muse-bouche to get you started. Specifically, you were interested in the friend that needed her help daily. Now, that sounded like some fertile ground for a relationship. You kind of regret bringing it up, though, because Jane got very flustered telling you about Jake. It's clear that her friendship with this guy is a topic of some emotional turmoil. Well, who better to help sort it out than you, everyone's friend? I feel like Reader and Jake are going to get along very swimmingly. But instead of friendship, you've been greeted by a number of ferocious white monsters. Your garbled brain offers up that you probably pissed off this kid's Lucis, except this is Earth. Between different planets, different universes, and the mess of timelines in your memory, you're having a hard time figuring out. You trip over a big tree root and land smack on your face in the dirt. You choke on decaying plant matter clawing at your throat and roll over onto your back just in time to see the duo Cyclops about to bring down one of its huge foot right on your vulnerable body. Are you allowed to start over if you haven't even made a branching choice yet? You cover your eyes. Nothing happens. After a moment of Olympic-level breath-catching, you venture a peek. The duo Cyclops is in pieces on the ground, 2 pieces. You hope the thematic resonance offered it some comfort during such a brutal end. You scramble to your feet. Your future new friend, Jake, must have intervened to save you. You look around for him, but there's another swoosh noise and a glint of metal, and something inhuman appears in front of duo Cyclops' body. Oh my god! Oh my god, it's Brobot! Oh my god. Oh, I didn't... Oh my god, we're gonna die. It's a robot, kind of a cartoony one, with shiny metal joints and big red anime sunglasses. It even has a perfectly gelled metal hairstyle. Honestly, it looks pretty goofy, but it's also holding a katana and staring right at you. You think you saw something similar broken all over the floor of Equius's room. It must be a battle robot, and you don't have the strength of your punchiest friend. Challenge the robot, do not. Let's die. With a yell, you charge forward, waving your arms intimidatingly. Yeah, it's a robot. It's not scared. The robot implacably waits for your approach, then strikes out in one swift motion, too fast to see. You crumple to the ground, your world exploding in pain. You huddle into a ball, waiting for the robot to finish you off. But it's not interested. It zooms away, leaving you to your agonies. In the bursts of lucidity available to you, you discern that it has kicked you in the chest, breaking several of your ribs. No problem, that's a totally survivable injury. You'll be fine, and ready to get your friendship Katamari rolling again in no time. You're just gonna lie here for a bit, just to gather your strength. And leaking delicious, aromatic blood, just for a minute or two. And then we died. Oh no. Alright, that's one out of the way. Bada bing ba boom. I'm back from Hibernation House 2023 treating me all. 2023 is treating me lovely. I hope you had a nice hibernation, Lily. Do not. You default to your old standby, cowering. You shrink back, hands raised in the universal symbol of whoa now. Shit, no horse pun intended. For some reason, the thought of Equius and the presence of this robot are making your brain go right to horses. Suddenly, a shot rings out behind you. It sounds so stupid that you almost don't believe it, but it's true. Who is shooting a gun at a robot? The robot makes a little vrr startup noise and raises its katana into a ready stance. A blur of green and khaki charges out of the jungle and tackles the robot full in the stomach. It doesn't fall to the ground. Instead, it puts the kid, a human you can now see, so probably this is Jake guy, into a headlock. He struggles, lashing at it with his elbow and kicking at its ankle. The robot proceeds to beat up the kid. There's no reason to describe it in detail. It's unpleasant to watch and makes you feel really bad. You didn't even know that there could be a polar opposite to Equius, but this kid is it. This robot is super effective against him. You have to stop it, but there's too much action for you to get close. Even if you could reach Jake, there's no way you could zap him out without bringing the BattleBot with you. Except, things have been weird lately. The accepted rules of your powers no longer seem so inviolable. Maybe you can just do it? You close your eyes and think really hard about bringing Jake with you. When you open your eyes, a young man stands in his bedroom. Wait, is it Jake's birthday? No, what? You shake your head in consternation. Anyway, you manage to bring Jake, and only Jake, into the house. He stands there, clutching his side and panting, recovering from the robo beatdown. This guy's bedroom is so covered in movie posters, it's hard to even see the shape of the walls. The floor is littered with weaponry. A lot of the kids you've met live like this, basically lounging around in piles of, detritus, pertaining to their character-defining interests. OST kind of a banger. Hello? Anyway, it's clear to anyone who sees this room that he absolutely fucking loves movies and guns. You don't need to waste any time on exposition there. I'm not doing a British accent because I'm shitty at those. But Jake Linglish is the most British guy, so just think about that. He is also very cute. Jeezum Creasum, you alright over there, my chromatically challenged chappy? You're fine, Jake is the one who seems hurt. That robot really did a number on him. I'll say. Confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. It does so many numbers, it's one short of standing ovation down on Broadway Avenue. I'm just glad I could be there to help. You know, life is always just a smidgen easier with bros helping hand firmly placed on your behind. With a friend behind you is what I mean to say. Oh, sure. Jake doesn't really seem fazed by any of this, not the alien monster on his planet, not your presence, not even the ungainly defeat at the hand of the anime robot, not even by you teleporting him around. Well, sure, my good buddy Jane told me you might drop by, and honestly, I've been chomping at the proverbial bit to meet you, old feller me lad. I'm sure Janie showed you a good time, as she is an absolute stand-up host and a top-notch friendo, an absolute wonder wench, and no doubt about it. But gosh, I've just been so gung-ho to show a brand new personage around the old digs. Get it? I live in a ruined temple, so it's literally digs. Nudges you with a meaningful elbow and gives you a hearty raising of brows. Did he just say that out loud? He did. Well, here you are, ready to be shown around the ruined temple. Where to first? Oh, let's not actually go there. You know, I'm no stranger to danger, but there's nothing like a man's familiar four walls to give him a feeling of peace and quietude. We'd better hide out for a bit, just a tactical withdrawal, whilst my robo-buddy and the usual monster menagerie are out and about. Right, the monsters. You can't help but notice that this is the same island where Jade lived. But instead, one big white creature custodian like Beck, Jake has lots. Trying to be culturally sensitive, you tell him that it must be nice having such a big family. Jake looks perplexed. I reckon it must be nice. Can't say I've ever had one, though. If family is what you're looking for, you couldn't have picked the worst place to mount your search. There's about as a familial spirit in my locale as cows in a cornfield, which is to say, there is none to be seen. Oh, shit, you've misinterpreted things, so Jake really just lives here alone? That must be hard. I'll say, as another one of my friends could tell you, there's nothing worse than being a teen stranded alone in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. My grandma used to live here with me, but she died long ago. He fucking talks like Rendog, he does. I think that Jake English and Rendog would get along swimmingly. I would love to see those two in a room together. My god. You think of your friend John, or rather his corpse, standing ceremonially in Jane's living room. Same house, similar kids. Same island, mysteriously dead grandma. Just got here, I don't know how I feel about this. Hi, Johnny. It's hard not to put two and two together and come up with your dead friend Jade. It's a gut punch, even though the inexorable passage of time means that, of course, you could zap to the future and visit time periods where all your friends are dead, if you wanted. You guess that's kind of what you did to your old friends by skipping forward so many years in Alternia. Haha, wow, you're starting to hyperventilate about this. You focus hard on Jake, trying to pull yourself together. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have noticed anything is wrong with you. Jake seems like the kind of person who doesn't have a lot of room in his head to talk and notice other people at the same time. But I try not to complain. After all, things could be worse. I have all the cans a boy could ever want to cookalize. I get to romp in the pumpkin patch to my heart's delight. Plus, this island is the perfect setting for one of the coolest things in the world. That's right, adventure. The thrill of discovery, the frenzy of battle. It's the most fulfilling diversion of them all. Why, no boy of a sound disposition could feel sad about his perpetual isolation and the deadness attribute of his family members when the whole dark and teeming jungle is available for his dauntless exploration. Is that really what he thinks? I can't help but remember about 30 seconds ago when Jake said he didn't want to go out to the ruins. You're no problem, sleuth, but Jake's room looks pretty lived in, not to mention the quantity of movie consumption suggested by his decor. You're about to respond when there's a horrendous clatter from down below. Jake freezes, a small animal caught in the headlights. You suspect the headlights are of the red anime glasses variety. Oh, fuck buttons. The metal maverick makes his return. Listen, you look like a rum customer with a primo getaway sticks. Fleeing is probably our best option here. You don't get it. The last guy you knew made a habit of consorting with BattleBots, always bested them handily. Why would Jake make something he couldn't beat? Whoa, jumpin' Jehoshaphat. I'm touched by your high opinion of my robotics know-how. No, I didn't make the robot. My best buddy did. He's a genuine whiz with all tech of all kind, and a real thoughtful guy, even though sometimes I wish he would just apply some of that big brain box to helping me out just a touch more. He couldn't be here himself because of the physical limitations of time and space, so he sent the robot to train me. It's really nice if you think about it. I mean, at first I thought it was somewhat overbearing and unnecessary, but after Dirk explained it to me, I got that it was his way of being nice. This best friend sounds, not everyone is as lucky as me to have the 3 stalwart compadres to brighten their day when they live alone on a murder island. When you think about it, I'm just the luckiest gent who ever was stranded in the Pacific with a passel of ferocious monsters and a killer robot. You guess you could say that? You guess someone could say that if that someone was Jake? Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of the situation. You could easily teleport the two of you out of here, but, well, the creepy biotech chittering noise of drones still echoes in your memories. You've had some bad experiences trying to escape a killer robot with its eyes set on a friend. Escape via teleportation seems like a temporary solution at best. Sooner or later, Jake's probably going to have to face the robot. Is there some way the two of you acting together can take it down? You don't understand. It learns from your actions. Anytime I've started to get the jump on that dad-burned chrome-ass sucker, it just turned around and given itself a thorough school feeding on the topic of kicking my sweet bippy. If we fight it together, it'll just learn how to fight two people, and then when you leave me all by my lonesome, I'll be up shit creek with nary a paddle to be found. It's like that robot is The Incredibles, except instead of being an absolutely fantastic work of cinematic art, it's my real life. Jeez and creasem, Jake's friend is among the worst gift givers you've ever seen. There's just one thing we can do if a hasty retreat isn't what tickles your biscuit. If we could find a way to turn on the novice mode, it'll be easier to deal with. I usually don't do it, but I'd hate to subject a guest to the violent vicissitudes of a robotic rascal. I just can't remember how it's done. Oh, okay. So at least this friend included an easy mode. You were starting to get the feeling that this guy was one of those gamers who thought easy modes cheapened the experience. But if he designed the thing with the novice mode, maybe he can remind Jake how to trigger it? Well, I have to admit you've really put your achromatic digit right there on the crux of the matter, amigo. Strider is a bang-up pro, and I won't utter a word against him, but he doesn't really like to offer help. I imagine he'll think it's my fault for forgetting in the first place, and he probably won't want to give me the answer because then I won't learn the lesson that I shouldn't be so forgetful. That doesn't sound like Dirk, but maybe I don't think Dirk's that much of an asshole. And also, Dirk has a crush on Jake. Wow, okay. You're starting to get a form of tentative opinions of this Strider guy. Entirely not lost as I basically missed all of yesterday's stream, but I'm having fun nonetheless. To be fair, Key Smash, as a quick summary, we got some of our memories back from, like, Friendsim stuff, and we just been teleporting around, and we teleported to Jane, and we're like, oh shit, we're crazy in the future now, and, you know, none of the beta kids are here anymore. And we're just hanging out and talking with Jake. We just teleported to Jake's place, as we do with all the routes. We just fucking teleport around. Jane basically told us where Jake was, and we teleported to him. That said, buddy-o, I think you've stumbled upon quite the slick solution to our woes. There's no shame in a brave adventurer asking for help when he's well and truly fine. I mean, he had an inkling, right? Because he wanted to talk to Dirk about it before the head decapitated thing happened. Yeah. Maybe we can find someone willing to offer us their casa as a temporary abode. Oh, sure, you could do that. Maybe Jake could message Jane. Although, now that you think about it, given how Jane talked about Jake when we were there, it seems cruel to spring something like this on her with so little lead time to prepare herself. You don't want to fluster her too badly. You quickly backpedal, telling Jake that Jane seemed too busy when we were there last. Is there anybody else? Well, Roxy's probably used Zozzled by now. Zozzled? You know, pie-eyed, on a toot, tying one in, deep in the giggle water, 3 sheets to the cold no reister? Oh, wait, she's drunk? Bingo was his name-o. So this is a common thing, and she's Jake's age? You don't want to make any assumptions, but that sounds, well, concerning. If someone wanted to get into Homestuck, where to start? Asking for a friend. Oh boy. You're gonna look up the unofficial Homestuck collection on Google, and you're gonna follow that link, and you're gonna download it, and that's where you're gonna be able to read it from. Because the official site is kind of garbage because Flash died, and they never really made the effort to fix that. So the unofficial Homestuck collection is the best way to do it. Yeah. The official site is very, very bad and very shitty. As a warning, Homestuck started being written in 2009, and it has a lot of humor that has not aged well, and probably humor that wasn't good even back then. So just keep that in mind when you're reading, if you decide to read. And it picks up Everybody says it picks up about Act 5, Act 4. Takes a little bit to get there, but that's when it really starts getting interesting. Some people can find the early acts a bit boring. I liked the early acts, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. So, you know, wait till you get to, you know, to about Act 3 before you make a decision. If you can get through Act 1 of Homestuck, you can get through all of Homestuck. That's kind of how people think about it. Act 1 is like the biggest hurdle for a lot of people, just because to a lot of people that's the most boring part. And also it's nonsensical in so many ways. And also familiar. You remember what feels like a long time ago now, helping a girl symbolically trash her mother's liquor collection. Of course, alcoholism isn't that rare, but still, you're starting to feel like there's something strange about all these convergent circumstances. Anyway, is Jake sure his friend is okay? Oh no, it's nothing like that. Roxy's just a fun and wacky gal, haha. Sure, she dabbles in the devil's drink, but she always seems to be having such a good time. I wouldn't want to make any unfair assumptions about it. Well, that's, that's kind of how being drunk works. Somehow, this fails to make you feel better. I guess asking Strider for help is our only option. Ugh, I guess I just know he's going to be a complete pain in the keister about it. I'll have to butter him up like a morning muffin. Are you any good at the manners of persuasion? Yikes. I want to understand where this kid's coming from, but you're reaching your limits here. Is that really all the friendship Jake has? If so, that is bleak. There's clearly some kind of feelings-based train wreck on the horizon for him and Jane. This friend Roxy is obviously having a crisis that Jake pretends not to see, and his friendship with Strider has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Is this what Jake is willing to put up with, just for companionship? He just pretends he doesn't see the huge issues with his friendships to keep the peace? Is this what it looks like when someone is so indiscriminately hungry for affection that they're willing to go along with anything to get it? You've had about enough. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. This is just reader kind of calling the pot calling the kettle black. We've been mauled, we've been fucking invaded, we've like burnt up in the sun, we've been all sorts of fucking shit. We had to deal with Vriska. We almost got fed to a fucking... We've died multiple times. But, you know, yeah, Jake is the one that has issues being indiscriminately about his friendships. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. This life that he has, it's not good. Not even close. He lost his family and he's scared to leave his house. His only company in real life is a robot that's programmed to hurt him. And he thinks it was a gift. He seems unwilling to face the glaring flaws in his closest relationships. And all this might be hard and sad, but it can't be helping Jake to be so deeply in denial about it. He can't just cover this all up with cavalier optimism. There's no way that's the best way for him to live. You understand it must be scary when there seems to be a structural flaw in every one of Jake's support pillars, but addressing them one by one, or addressing them is the only way anything can get better, because this hiding out in his room all alone is just pretending that he has the support he needs is not sustainable. You don't say this part, but if he keeps going along with what other people want him to be, you're scared for what's going to happen to him as he grows up. That can't lead him to anywhere good. After your rant, Jake stares at you aghast. You start to feel bad. Yes, he probably needed to hear those things, but you could have guided him more gently. You're usually an expert on encouraging people slowly towards emotional growth, but this kid really got under your skin. And then Jake's face crumbles. You're absolutely right. Oh, I am lying to myself. I manicure the image of myself as some brave adventurer, but I don't go out the ruins unless I have to. And I suppose on some level, I have suspected that things with Jane and Roxy and Dirk weren't exactly... Jake. Wait, what? Oh, it's like a word that means good. It's just plain English. Jake English. Anyway. I guess I didn't realize how serious it was, or how much I was really ignoring. Gee, fucking willikers, it's not easy to hear that all this came across loud and clear to a complete stranger. That really makes me feel low. But I guess for a truly brave gentleman, the only thing to do is to try to do better from here on out. It's scary, but I want to do the kind of, I want to be the kind of person who is honest and forthright, a real hero. If I'm not doing that, then I need to figure out how to do that. Holy smokes, you've really opened my eyes, Mix Mystery Friend. You've really got a knack for spotting my problems. Do you think you could stick around to help me do better? It's like asking the sun if it minds shining, helping people confront their buried issues and come out of it a change for the better. Why, that's the very thing you're desperately latched onto to give your life some kind of purpose. But something about this feels off. Was your rant really all it took to turn things around for Jake? Did you really just fix him? That doesn't seem right. Definitely not good pacing anyway. Jake is looking at you with big green puppy eyes. You have to make a choice. Of course you're gonna help. Jake asked, didn't he? You think of your old bag of friendship tricks, encouraging him to talk to people about his feelings. It'd probably be good, but it's a little complex. He has 3 different relationships with these kids, all of them having their own set of problems, and you've not yet convinced Jake is really up for the confrontation yet. Your best bet is probably foregoing unlikely connections through your power of teleportation and friend matchmaking. Excuse me. You think proudly of the time you introduced Dorea to Tizius, someone who'd struggled with the questions Dorea was facing, but found more constructive solutions. That's what you need. Someone similar, not someone similar to Jake, but a good foil. Someone who will be able to call Jake on his avoidance. You need the ultimate pull-no puncher, an expert in tough love. Okay, who are we sending? Who is this? Who is Reader thinking of? I'm trying to think before we go. I was gonna say Terezi. It kind of sounds like he's describing Terezi a little bit to me. I hope it's not Vriska. I think it'd be really funny if we go to Vriska. But I think Terezi matches the... Maybe Terezi, maybe Carcat? Though Carcat has his own issues. Oh, Vriska was an ass to Jake, wasn't she? Alright, let's see. Here we go, boys. We don't, actually. We really don't. Hey, game, we don't, actually. You ask Jake if you might take the initiative to introduce him to another one of your friends. Someone who has the kind of take-no-bullshit approach that he needs to cultivate. Someone who can really help. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Lead on, buckaroo. You clap your hand madly on his shoulders and zap over to Vriska. You expect her to be in her hive, but when your field of vision clears, you're at the beach again. You've appeared a diplomatic distance away, not right up in her face. Vriska's walking down the beach, hands in her pockets, occasionally aiming a disaffected kick at a piece of trash. You call out to her and wave her over. Her face splits into a grin at the sight of you. It gives you a warm glow, like you've befriended someone's mean cat who never gets along with visitors. Maybe more like someone's mean mountain lion. Hey there. Hi, Vriska. What's she doing on this beach? I came here looking for my stupid fish friends. Terezi and I need an explosive device for a thing, and as much as I hate to admit it, Empor isn't bad at making them. But he's not even here. I can't find him the one time I ever want to see him, ever. Figures. My so-called friends leaving me to do all the work again. It's this kind of self-starter energy that Jake could really learn from. Speaking of, you start to introduce... Hey Jake, here's an alien. Make friends. Speaking of, you start to introduce your friends to each other, but when you turn to Jake, he's frozen, his face caught in an expression of shock and wonder. Maybe you should have mentioned your friend was an alien? You keep forgetting to mention things like that. As you look at him, Jake rallies, snapping to a ramrod posture you half expect him to salute. He opens his mouth to speak and then shuts it. You can talk to her, you prompt. It's okay. Yes. Righto. Holy smokes, I'm ruffled as a baby's bonnet to meet you, Miss Vriska. I'm poised and trembling on the lip of your pit of knowledge, just ready to fall into an expectant abyss. I'm happy to learn whatever you can teach me. Although I must say, when my pal here intimated they had a friend who could help. I didn't expect you to be of such a blue and spidery persuasion. Oh no. Oh no. She's also gray, not blue, but okay. Of course. Why would anyone be anything else when they could be blue and spidery? Ah, you have a solid point there, my extraterrestrial associate. I hope you'll pardon my candor, but a real gentleman doesn't hide the truth. You may be the coolest girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Clear his throat nervously, hoping he didn't overstep. Stop. Don't. Stop doing the out loud. It's only endearing when Nepeta does it. It's only endearing when Nepeta does it. Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear it. Feel free to keep listing things that are awesome about me. Despite his professed admiration for Vriska, however, Jake isn't listening. Hang on, wait, technically the only other girl I've seen was my grandma, but you know what I mean. It's kind of disrespectful to refer to one's own grandmother as girl, so I didn't mean her. Haha, gosh, I seem to be rambling. Well, I hope this is a radiant exemplar of the kind of being true to myself I hope to cultivate as a regular habit from here on out. I think it can be very brave to just keep being yourself even when things are awkward, don't you think so? Oh, wow. There are so many things wrong with that, I don't even know where to start. Oh, doggone, it really... This is why I need your help, Miss Vriska. I didn't see anything wrong with any of that at all. Here I am, going around thinking what I'm saying to everyone is tickety-boo, and it turns out it's all been a load of cattywampus fiddle-faddle. Oh man, this is the nicest present anyone's ever gotten me. We literally are feeding Jake to the fucking wolves. She's addressing you now, ignoring Jake's question. A predatory shark smile spans on her pointy face. You must have known things were getting bad with Tavros, in a different way than usual, I mean. He just kinda stopped responding in the same way he did before, and not even because of his fakey fraud confidence. He just says no good can come from talking to me. So you brought me a new nerdy loser. This rules. Well, that wasn't exactly what you expected, although, now that you think about it, why did you expect this? Pretty much anyone could have seen this coming. Hey, except Jake, of course. I may have my little quirks and quibbles, but that doesn't mean I'm a loser. If you weren't a lady, I dare say that such slanderous language would earn you a one-way ticket to Fisticuff Island, which, now I think about it, is more or less the appropriate moniker for my permanent residence. How do you like them, Granny Smith apples? This is hilarious. I've never met anyone who makes me feel so good about myself. I'm so lucky to be cool. Excuse me, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of an apology yet, Miss Rude Alien Girl. At least Jake is standing up for himself, but you get the feeling that this enthusiastic bravado wouldn't hold up if the issue was an interpersonal one with his friends. Either way, Vriska is not backing down. She sizes Jake up and stepping forward to intimidate him. Do you really want to fight? Because I get the feeling you're whatever your planet's equivalent is of Colbait. Oh, of Colbait. You're whatever your planet's equivalent of Colbait is. I may not know what that means, but I've never once backed down from a scrum, and I'm not about to start now, chum. Whoa, no, you're not gonna let the two of your best friends, a category that includes all your friends, throw down in a fight right in front of you. Especially not after Vriska compared Jake to Tavros. Doesn't she remember the consequences of fighting Tavros? Doesn't she want things to go differently here? Wait, what's that supposed to mean? Oh, no, you didn't mean any offense. You know Vriska has been through a lot, and her past mistakes should be viewed with that context, but you know Vriska didn't mean to hurt Tavros as she did, right? Vriska is no longer having fun. She's turned to you now, her mouth set into a line, fists clenching at her side. You remember how magical it seemed to have earned her friendship, how easily Vriska can lash out when she thinks her friends have turned on her. You think you know what went down between me and Tavros? Tavros was almost as pathetic as this guy. I was trying to help him get stronger. But every time I did, he just folded like a loser. He barely even tried to fight back. He was too scared and wimpy. And everyone always gets mad for me pushing him. But that's what our planet is going to do to him. If he doesn't get stronger, he'll die. Trying to protect him from danger now is just letting that happen later. I wouldn't even say I'm the only one who's ever really cared about him. Or I would even say that I'm the only one who's ever cared about him. At least I tried to help him shape up. You almost forgot Jake is there, but at this he makes an indignant noise and you turn to see that his anger and distress has ratcheted up several notches. Well, pardon me, Spider Smurfette, but it doesn't sound like you were much of a friend at all. Oh god, you nudged Jake, trying to let him know that Vriska can be a little scary and it might not be best to push her on this, but Jake isn't listening. No matter how much you might think you're doing this fellow a favor, from what you've said, he really was scared and sad. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't make someone stronger. It just makes them scared. Even if you think it was good for him, even if he said it was what he wanted, like maybe when he was talking about having a fighting partner, what he really wanted was companionship due to being alone all the time. And to be totally candid, it's hard to believe you didn't know that, which means it really is more about what you want than what's best for him, even though you keep saying it's what's best for him, which makes it really hard to argue. Anyway, oh boy, projection. Anyway, if you ask me, you're a rotten friend, and I don't think I want you to be one of mine after all. Before Vriska can respond, and almost inevitably make things worse, you cut her off. Enough is enough. You tell her that you're sorry for making assumptions. You know that she was doing her best, the best she could with her raw deal of what she was given in this culture. You offer her a quick thank you for this hellish social interaction, and ask her to take some time alone with your incipient friend here, or ask for some time alone. Vriska still looks annoyed, and there's a moment where you're scared she won't let it go, but she does, stepping back and rearranging her facial expression to apathy. You guess pushing it would mean admitting she cares about your opinion of her. Whatever. Talk to you later, nerds. After she leaves, you put a comforting hand on Jake's shoulder. That got pretty raw, huh? It kind of seemed like at the end there, he wasn't talking about Vriska at all. Like, there was someone else he wanted to say all that stuff to? Huh? No, this has nothing to do with me. It was all about that weird alien situation. You gently suggest that this might be one of those situations the two of you were talking about earlier, where Jake is suppressing the truth because it's inconvenient to acknowledge. Doesn't it bear some slight resemblance to a situation in his own friend group? Jake averts his eyes clearly uncomfortable. No way. All my friends are the best in the show. And even if what you're implying was true, it's different when it's your friends. A man can't get by without his bros, so sometimes he has to make allowances. Certain, let's say, eccentricities are just what you have to put up with when your best friends are involved. No, they're not. You're allowed to hold your friends accountable. This is weapons-grade interpersonal truth you're spouting, but Jake doesn't look enlightened. Instead, he's growing red in the face with indignance. What would you know about it anyway? Not to be rude, but it's a very personal situation between a fellow and his buddies. I don't think I appreciate what you're implying. You don't want to get frustrated, but Jake did ask for your help. The two of you came here because you were going to face up the hard truths of Jake's life. Doesn't Jake want to do that? Well, of course I do. I'm ready to take a good hard look in the old rum peeper, and don't you doubt it. It's just that when it comes to friends, I didn't think you were saying any of them were bad. I thought you were encouraging me to take things in a more forthright direction because, well... Tugs at collar nervously. Because of their feelings towards me. Gosh, I know it sounds stupid when I say it like that. I hope you know I'm not some kind of pompous braggadocio, making myself out to be some slick Casanova type. I'm probably just making it up. I'm the kind of guy who gets confused easily, especially with the number of concussions I've sustained over the years. A real beef-witted bozo, that's me. But more than once I've gotten an inkling that some of my friends might be giving me the old eagle eye, firing up the courting maneuvers, if you get my drift. So when you said things weren't right between me and my friends, that's sort of where I thought the personal train was heading. An impression only further bolstered when you proceeded to introduce me to your blue arachnid-themed friend. I figured you remembered my sapphire sirens from my room. You know, is it Natiri and all that? It was a sweet gesture, though, although, just so you're aware, she's a little too young for me to take that kind of interest. I appreciate the thought, though, just some constructive criticism for next time. Now you're tempted yourself to say aloud some kind of goofy RP action indicating your embarrassment. You don't, though, because it sounds stupid when Jake does that. Jeez, this is a mess. This kid has issues on issues. And when you think you've put your finger on one, it slides away to reveal 3 more. You're playing a personal growth whack-a-mole over here. But you gamely draw yourself up and plunge on forward, determined. Okay, you tell Jake. So if that's what he thought you were going to talk about, let's talk about it. How does it make him feel, thinking his friends are all attracted to him? What does he plan to do about it? Oh, I think all that malarkey will work itself out over time. I figure I'll just wait until someone brings it up and then just go along with what they think we should do. Really? That's his strategy? It seems remarkably lackadaisical, and it gives you the sinking feeling again about what's in store for future Jake. Does he actually return any of those feelings? Sure I do. My friends are the cat's pajamas. I don't mind saying I really love them. Right, of course, but is there any one of them he feels differently about? What would he say if, for example, Jane asked him out? I'd say yes, of course. How could I say no to a top Shiva like Janie? She's smart as a whip with a mug to match. Alright, well what about Roxy? A fellow would have to be daft as a doorknob to turn down Roxy. She's a genius tech hacker spy like in all my favorite movies. And Strider. Are you kidding? Strider's my best pro in the world and a mighty strapping gent, if we're getting into it. I can't think of a reason to say no to a proposition like that for my best bud. The way Jake conceives of things is just far enough off from your own viewpoints. I relate to this approach a concerning amount. I think I might be Arrow because of this. Arrow Jake. The Arrow Ace coding is kind of real. It is a little real. You can't help feeling like you're passing by each other without really connecting. For example, he doesn't have a reason to say no to a friend asking him out. It comes down to his feelings. Does he really have strong feelings for any of these people? Like stronger feelings than he has for Neytiri? Whoa, hey now, that's not really fair. Neytiri is the perfect woman. No, you insist. It is fair. If someone has feelings for him, he should not be with them unless he has stronger feelings for that real flesh and blood person than he does for a poster of Neytiri. This is important. Well, you put it that way. I don't know if I've ever had feelings like that. I don't even know if I'm capable of feeling those kinds of things. Wow, this is actually like very ace-coded, or very arrow-coded. If that's the case, then he needs to be prepared to tell his friends that. It's not like he has to have these conversations now, but someday the feelings his friends have need to be addressed, and he needs to be ready to turn them down. He needs to make these decisions. He can't just wait for things to resolve on their own and deal with the consequences later. Wow. He doesn't sound nearly as excited about personal growth as he did before. He just sounds dejected. I must say you've given me a lot to think about. That's a good thing, you remind him. He's learning important things. Well, these are arrow colors. You are right, Jality. Sorry, but a lot of people tell me it's important for me to learn various things. And for sure sometimes they're right. I've never assumed the image of a chap who knows everything. But you've also been telling me I can stand up for myself sometimes, make my own decisions about what's right instead of letting other people tell me how to live. And I just don't think I agree with you on this. He sneaks a guilty look at you from under his sad bowed head. What I mean is, I like making pals happy, or I like making my pals happy, even if I'm not always sure about if I want the things they want. And I can't imagine the consequences could really be that bad. I think that in the matter of the heart, I'm just fine to go with the flow. No offense, but the way you're advocating I go about it seems hard and sad. I don't want to hurt people. I really think it's best if I just sit back and see how things work out. And if someone asks me to do something, I might as well try it. That's just the kind of adventure boy I am. Okay. I'm about to share. We're gonna go on a little tangent, a little bit here, because I want to share a little personal story. And also me thinking about whether or not I am Arrow or not, because it's fun. It's very relatable. I'm very much feeling Jake right now. This was like a few years ago. I had known this guy, a really, really close and like good friend of mine for a couple years. And one day, and I kind of had an inkling that he had a crush on me. One day, we were hanging out, and essentially through a very long and kind of drawn-out conversation, he ended up confessing to me. And my first thought, and what I told him was, sure, like, let's try it out. Like, I don't know, like, you know, I'm down to take, because to me it was like, yeah, friendship, but like another step, like a step further. And so I said yes, and we started quote-unquote dating. And then I came out as trans, and it didn't turn out well. I was in the church, there's a whole thing. But essentially, I kind of just, like, went with it because I was like, well, this is what he wants. And I maybe want it, but, like, I think I realized in hindsight, actually, I just was really good friends with him and then wanted to be more friends with him rather than having any sort of romantic feelings at all. So this is hitting home a little, which is bad because, like, in hindsight, it's like, okay, you don't lead somebody on like that if you very obviously don't also have romantic feelings, because you're just gonna end up disappointing the other person when you're not able to properly reciprocate those feelings back that they're expecting when you go into that kind of relationship, if you're not establishing those things ahead of time anyways. But yeah, so you want to respect Jake's choices, but you can't help the I can't say this word. Exasperation rising up in you. Sure, he can decide how he wants to conduct his friendships, but the approach he's talking about is really unhealthy. If he wants to do the right thing by his friends, he has to be honest with them and himself. Otherwise, it's not fair to anyone. Excuse me. I see what you're saying, but if you want my 100% bona fide opinion, I don't think I can do that. I guess we have different ideas about what we were getting into with this. He can do it, though. All he has to do is try. Jake is shaking his head. I'm sorry, I know you were really trying to help. I'm sure you're an excellent compadre, just like Spider-Girl said, but this isn't working for me. Maybe you should just take me home now. I can figure out some way to deal with Robot. He's still well below the average Jake level of energy. You can see that you really affected him, but you're far from confident that your intervention is going to make any difference in the long run. Despite his earnestness, you guess Jake wasn't as ready for change as he thought he was. Wait a fucking second, is this a bad end? A horrible powerlessness threatens to overwhelm you. All at once, it makes you furious. This isn't fair. Jake gave you a choice between two options, and you chose to help him face his problems. You know that this was the right choice. You didn't do anything wrong. You were kind and patient, you talked to him sincerely and pushed him in the right direction. He deserved a good end. You deserve to save him. But you can tell Jake is emotionally closing up. You're willing to bet the conversation the two of you just had was among one of those candid in his life, and he isn't ready for another. You want so badly to help him. You know exactly the changes he needs to make, but you can't make those changes for him. He needs to do it himself. And he's just not ready. Maybe he'll never be. Oh wow, this really is Paige moment, yeah. Jake's gets... It's so funny because Jake's... being a Page is all about, you know, taking a very long time to hit your growth, hit your level, whatever. Jake had to wait so long and then didn't even hit in the epilogue. Jake is the ultimate Page because he never fully got character development. You hate this. You hate Jake. And you hate yourself. Making people's lives better is one thing that's given you your piecemeal existence any meaning. And he's taking this away from you. His stupid inability to face his issues is ruining your life. You linger as long as you can, but eventually you have to do it. You gotta take the L. Bad end, you guess. Ooh, that's kind of interesting, Violet. Did they say what class spec? It was. Oh, I guess you mean as in the class specs. Oh, Seer of Void. Oh, interesting. We have one more route for Jake. We don't. We don't. And then we do not help. You're about to say yes. Every part of you is straining to say yes and fulfill your life's purpose. Your real life's purpose. Not like before when you were being mind controlled to pursue friendship. friendship on whatever shallow or unsatisfying level was possible, this desire to help, to make your mark in whatever small positive way you can wrangle, is something you've figured out for yourself. It matters. But when you're about to open your mouth, you stall. A deep existential hopelessness washes over you, a kind that you thought you were past by now. You know what? Fuck it. Yes, you care, but honestly, you're exhausted. It's so much work coaxing teens through personal revelations with no reward except the temporary abatement of your deep soul-level feeling of narrative irrelevance. You need a break. Why not give yourself a freebie? You tell Jake that you don't think he needs your help. It's enough for right now that he's realized there's a problem. There's no need to swallow down all your personal growth pills at once. Jake looks abjectly relieved. Well, if I can shoot straight from the hip, that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I think I've done enough already, too. Whew, this has been a great talk. I feel like we were really firing all the cylinders friendship-wise. If you were a past version of yourself, that would make you really happy. Instead, a sick feeling of guilt is poisoning your gut. You were about to touch on something real there, and you know it was wrong to pull back from it. You're not doing Jake any favors. Still, you give him a weak smile and offer him the best friend-making tool you know. Are there any faraway friends he's interested in connecting with? Boy, howdy, what a proposition. Why, I feel like one of those movie characters who's offered a near unlimited powers out of nowhere, like Bruce Almighty, ready to lasso the moon and damn the consequences on those pesky tides. There is someone I've been hankering to meet with for a little teet-a-teet. Remember when I regaled with you the tale of my grandma? Well, if you're not really sure if you're going to be able to reunite with this kid with his dead grandma, that seems like one of those things you won't be allowed to do, despite the supposed limitlessness of your powers. You'd probably be blocked by that weird force, the one that seems to have a power that supersedes zapping anywhere in time, place, or dimension. You don't like to think about that force too hard. No, my stalwart chum. I've been corresponding in an epistolary fashion with a previous version of my grandma when she was a young girl, my pen pal buddy named Jade. I understand if it's too much, but I'd love to meet her. She always said we'd meet someday in a roundabout, confusing who's-he-what's-its fashion, and I was pleased as a passel of possums to hear it. But recently she stopped replying, right in the final run-up to the vaunted finish line. I've been on Twitter with Rory, and I don't mind telling you. Do you think we could take a hop, skip, and a jump over to her lodgings? What a relief. You actually know Jade. You can take him to Jade right now. Jake smiles, a big goofy grin at you. I wonder if this is gonna work. You should feel happy, you tell yourself sternly. This is a good thing to do. He said himself that you're fixing a concern of his. With a yawning malaise, inside you only grows. You like to think of yourself as an agent of positive change, but here you are again, nothing but a glorified interdimensional taxi service. Whatever, who cares? At least he'll be with someone he loves. You grab Jake's hand and take him to his family. You expect the normal non-event of your zappy powers, but instead there's a sick wrenching feeling, a kind of squeezing like you're not the right shape for wherever you're going. It steals your breath, then it's gone. Nervously, you open your eyes. What? Wait, Jude. Are we gonna see Jude? The fuck? Does this have to do with how your powers are changing? Sure, you were distracted and gloomy when you zapped, but you have no idea what just happened. You're not at Jade's house. Wherever you are, it feels deeply wrong. The wrongness jangles through your bones and teeth like vibrations of a jackhammer. You're not supposed to be here. You have to get out of here. You grab Jake with a grimace and sat more carefully. Ah. I thought we were gonna get to see Jude and Joey. Ah, there we go. You breathe a sigh of relief, which is sadly cut short as you turn to see Jade shoving a muzzle of a rifle in your face once again. You back up, hands raised. Jade, no, it's just you, her friend. You've already been through all these wacky misunderstanding shenanigans with firearms. I know who it is. I just think you shouldn't be here. What? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything you've done for me. You have no idea what it meant to be able to meet my friends in person. But the last time you came here, things got dangerous, and I started to wonder if you have any idea what the consequences are of what you're doing. Okay, there's obviously something she needs to get off her chest, and you want to hear it, but can she put the gun down? You both know she's not actually going to shoot you. Oh, right. I guess the gun was a little over the top, but you just startled me, and I got really mad. Ever since you left last time, I'm thinking about what you did with me and Dave. Even though Beck didn't stop you, I don't think he wanted me to be traveling around like that. I know you're a nice person, you don't mean to do anything bad, but I think it's impossible to have powers like yours without being a little corrupted by them. When you mess around in our lives, that can have serious consequences, but you always leave afterward and you don't live out the consequences with us. It was great to meet my friends, but you know what? I would have met them in the game, or anyway in the game. I can't help thinking it would have been better for things to play out like they were supposed to. I'm sorry, but I just don't want you interfering in my life anymore. I think it's for the good of everyone if you just leave us alone from now on. It hurts to hear, but how could you argue with that? You tell Jade that you don't want to do anything that makes her uncomfortable. There's just, like, one little thing that maybe you already did? You gesture to Jake. He's huddled behind you, clearly having second thoughts about this. Maybe it's the gun. But then again, Jake is pretty comfortable around guns. Probably just the fear of the mortifying ordeal of being known. Who the fuck are you? You watch as he clears his throat and fidgets, his hand twitching at his sides like he's thinking about hanging onto his own guns for comfort. I'm your grandson. Jake? That's me. Jade bursts into tears. She flings herself forward and throws her arms around Jake. Okay, I know I just said I didn't want any interference, but this isn't fair. I can't believe you're here. Aww. When they pull apart, Jake's eyes are all watery as well. He's taller than Jade, being a few years older, but from the shy way he looks at her, you can tell he still sees her as the authority figure here. You can suddenly see how much Jake must have admired his grandmother. Fine, you're still in a mood. This is heartwarming as hell. You intentionally tune out the conversation a little as Jade and Jake gush at each other. It just seems really private. They're family after all. You don't have any place in this conversation, which only adds to your frustrated feelings of being help blocked. It's great that this is making Jade and Jake so happy, but it really has nothing to do with you at all. I guess I can't really give you a tour since you grew up in the same place as me, but maybe we can take advantage of this opportunity. We both grew up alone, right? Isn't there anything you always wanted to do, but you couldn't do it with only one person? Holy hell, Jade, that's a rip-snorter of an idea. You've got a splendiferous mind in that noggin of yours. Aw, it's weird. It's weirding me out how much you sound like my grandpa. It's making me miss him too, but I'm really happy I get to spend time with you. Me too. And as for your question, there's one thing that comes forefront to the old think tank. You know how it is being a kid alone in your room on a godforsaken island in the middle of bumfuck nowhere? You start to entertain all kinds of fancies. Of course. Well, there's this cosplay I've been trying to make work for years. I'm not very good at cosplay, and I haven't had anyone to help me bring my vision to life. Is that the kind of activity you'd be suited for? OMG, I would love that. What's the character? Only the... Yes! Only the best, bravest archaeologist / adventure of all time, Lara Croft. Please, please tell me that Jake dresses up in Lara Croft's outfit. Oh my god. So you want to be a sexy Tomb Raider? I think I'll have to stop picturing you as my grandpa, but I would love to help you with that. To be frank, Jade, I don't really think Miss Croft is sexy. Oh, I know some unmannerly rogues like to comment on the size of her bazombas, but from where I'm sitting, she's a consummate professional. Bazombas. I just admire her moxie. Oh, oops, sorry, I was just making an assumption based on her outfit. I guess that was really rude of me. To tell you the truth, I have never seen anything sexy about shorts. I aspire to the freedom Lara's thighs get to experience every day. I think it's a beautiful journey. A man can wear short shorts without wanting everyone to get all randied up about it. You know what I mean? Of course he can. But what about you, my juvenile grandma friend? This can't just be a cosplay party for yours truly alone. Isn't there anyone you've been wanting to inhabit the garments of? No, not really. But it would be fun to make a costume for me, too. I could be Mr. Coxcomb. He's one of my favorite man-throw chaps. Jade turns to you, her demeanor towards you considerably softens. Hey, I'm sorry I was so mad earlier. Honestly, I was scared of what you were doing. It really shook me up to find myself on an alien planet. It felt like we shouldn't be doing it. But I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I know your powers aren't your fault. Do you want to join us? We can make a costume for you too. Oh yes, please do. Jade, this specimen right here has been nothing but a positively fantabulous friend to me all along. Have you? Have you? All you did was tow him along on a little inner timeline jaunt. You don't feel like you've done Jake much good. Are you really friends with Jake, or are you just piggybacking off of facilitating his friendship with Jade? It's fine, you guess. Things are going fine, even well, but it feels a little unsatisfying. No real nutritional value. You don't feel good about what you've done, but you guess you might as well get a cool costume out of it. You tell Jake and Jade you know exactly who you want to dress up like. The three of you set to work together. Yes! 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 Oh my god, he's beautiful. Oh my god, he's amazing. He's perfect. Look at, oh my god, what a figure. What a pose he strikes. Beautiful. And we got the good end for the final end. Lovely. Alright, Roxy time. This is gonna be a nightmare to read, oh my god. Roxy's typing quirk is hard to read out loud, so I apologize in advance. Alright, here we go. You spent a good few days fucking around with your newest friends. They seem to be on their respective paths towards something. You're not exactly sure if self-actualization is part of it, but you're trying not to be too bent up about it. This Earth's friend group seems to have a lot of interpersonal complexity. To be fair, you do only really know half of the friendship quadrangle. It's probably past time to meet the other two corners of it. See what all the fuss is about. Get their side of all the drama before you leap to any more judgments. You've thought a lot about what you said to Jake, and what you wanted to say but didn't. Your shame at the thought that you might also be erring passively on the side of friendship sloshes uncomfortably in your belly against the fear that you may be choosing too much, wanting too much, changing too much. Because you've thought a lot about what Jade has said too. Excuse me. That's probably why you bothered to get Roxy's address from Jane. You can't exactly stop making new friends, because you aren't ready to think about what your purpose would be without that. But maybe you could do it the old-fashioned way this time. Showing up at somebody's doorstep via the accepted human method of following directions to their domicile's specific government-assigned number seems like it might be a better start than, just zapping directly to them when they're taking a shit or something. Which is definitely a hypothetical situation, and not at all something that had happened to you recently. Anyway, you came up with a plan of everything. You're not a real mailman, that you know of, but you've grown to appreciate and respect the profession, so you don't mind LARPing it for once. You wonder briefly if there might be other guises under which people might go up to another person's house and knock on their door, but almost none of your friends ever leave their fucking rooms, so you sure wouldn't know. You zap down the street from her house and walk up the long, scary driveway through the trees, over a bridge, and end up to a door. Okay, so not exactly a normal human method. What? Were you supposed to stroll all the way to New York from Jane's place? She offered you bus money, but then remembered her fortune is tainted. She vacillated between giving you every single one of her dollars and burning it all in a symbolic bonfire until the two of you landed on moving it to a new, hopefully untraceable bank account. You're really not sure how deep the Batter Witch's surveillance goes, but Jane seems satisfied at least. She's going through a lot. You know how it is, having to endure huge life-upending bouts of information being tossed at you more or less weekly yourself. So yeah, you skipped a step in your mail personally sojourn, but you made it to Roxy's house in a respectable manner, which was the whole point. You're about to make the fuck out of a good impression. You knock, and you wait. Oh. Wait, is this Alpha Rose? Oh my god. Oh my god, hello. Oh my god, hi. Oh my god, Miss Lalonde? Oh my god, Miss Lalonde, are you perchance single? Miss Lalonde, are you single? I'm just, just asking for a friend. Just, please. The person who comes to the door is not Roxy. At least, she doesn't look like the photo of Roxy Jane showed you. Oh, fuck. Unless Roxy's a catfish. You did not expect this. Oh, it's you. This could be interesting. You blink. It is you. She got that part right. Do you know her? You scour her features. She does seem familiar, like a friend you almost had, or did have, very long ago, or moderately long ago, depending on the perspective you are looking at time from. You wonder, had the two of you met before? No, we have not, nor was I expecting the pleasure. Ah, shit. You thought you were onto something for once. You wonder how many more levels of memory are buried, twisting under a blown synapse of your burned-out brain. You have to move forward and give up on chasing down whatever buck-wild theory you were inching toward there. There are real mysteries afoot with this stranger. This feels like a decisive moment if there ever was one. Oh wait, you are an idiot. This is an adult. You've been spending too much time with marginally supervised aliens and a lonely marooned boy recently that you forgot Roxy probably lives with her parents. And it's 50-50 on the possibility of that stuffed Grandma Rose somewhere in there, if the pattern holds. It's feasible that she could have told her mom about you. You play it safe instead of accusing anyone of online identity crime, as you ask if Roxy is home. She stares at you for a moment, her lips slightly parted. You get the feeling that she is not often caught off guard, and you wonder what it is you've done wrong now. Do you ever think that you have lived through every possible iteration of an emotion, and then one day a manifestation of narrative agency shows up on your doorstep to remind you that there is yet another way to experience the acute feeling of a particular loss? You do what you do best and stare blankly at her, trying to figure out what the fuck that might mean. Oh, is that not a universal one? Well, then, I can clarify. It is a roundabout way of saying no. She is not home, nor will she be for quite a while. I would offer to take a message for you, but with your bag of tricks, I think you can manage the wait. She winks at you conspiratorially, and you have never felt less like you were on a plan with somebody. This has been fun, but I'm not the one you want. I'll go ahead and make myself scarce so things can start moving. Oh. Because we're on Jane's timeline right now. Yeah, we're in Jane's time, and Roxy is in the future. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we have to go forward like 200 years. Unfortunately for me, my path is not as flexible as yours or hers. You've wasted a considerable amount of time here as it is, and I have my own preparations to contend with. Scoot along before you touch something you shouldn't. She shuts the door and you stand, blank and useless, on the doorstep. Maybe this isn't the right house and that lady was just having a good time fucking with you. Jane had said she hadn't used Roxy's address in forever, since Roxy didn't ever seem to receive things she sent through the mail. And whoever this was didn't really give you any solid evidence that she knew what you were talking about. You take a minute to consider the cryptic shit the woman, who is very probably not Roxy's mom, just told you. You feel like a level 1 bugfuck idiot, taking on a side quest from an enigmatic wizard so far beyond you that you feel like you should have spent way more time grinding first. It feels like that's what she was going for. Anyway, whatever she said, it was something like, you could manage the wait? Maybe this is one of issues of time, not space. Excuse me. It always seems to be one of the two bastards, huh? Well, luckily for you, you have the power over both. Might as well follow the only lead you have. You perch on the bridge over the river running in front of the house and fast forward, holding Roxy's name at the front of your mind. Years swirl by you in a visual cacophony. Buildings rise up around you, lights flashing red and hot. There is a rush of busy energy and an ebb and flow of colonial tide, and then a stillness. Right when you start to wonder if you've missed her, you feel it. You wait till it feels right, and then stop. Holy shit, that was a while. You traveled forward time from John's era to meet Jane, you guess, so you suppose it isn't the most unfathomable thing to have to do it again, but wow. The trees that surround you just a minute ago are gone, replaced by a sea of crumbling buildings and a low, skittery sound, like pressing your ear to an ant colony. The vibes out here are very bad. You hurry up and knock. The door opens slowly. Roxy! Oh, I love her! Roxy, for sure it's Roxy this time, peeks her head out, spots you, and then squints at the empty street behind you. Seeing no threat, she bumps the door open with her elbow and drops a huge pumpkin in your arms. She stumbles a bit over the door jam as she does it, and you almost don't catch the pumpkin in favor of reaching for her, but she steadies herself at last moment and leans against the frame, unfazed. Here you go, little buddy. I appreciate you knocking. It's a lot more polite than the usual breaking and entering you guys do, so I picked out a nice juicy one for you. Don't go telling everyone to try this shit though, or else I'll never get any sleep again in my life. I'll just be up running produce to my door 24/7, unloading snacks to every chest guy in existence without rest. But you're eating noises for company. This is not at all how you thought this would go, but honestly, you honestly should have known better than to do anything with your expectations but throw them in the trash can. So you roll with it and thank her for her pumpkin, calling her by your name for max politeness. You can see over the flagrantly large gourd you're still struggling to hold, but you feel her go still. Did she stop breathing? You crane your neck and peek over the curve of the pumpkin, and fuck, again with those expectations. You did not anticipate pure terror to be the emotion constructed on her face, but there it is. What shit did you just say to me? You said, thank you, Roxy. You open your mouth again and introduce yourself as the friend Jane mentioned, but all your words shrivel up in your horrible mouth because Roxy has flattened herself against the doorframe, her head tucked down like you're blinding her. You're not said my name. She slinks down to the floor and kind of rolls back inside, shutting the door behind her. You hear nothing, and then a deep heaving sob. What the fuck just happened? You knock politely, just once. Hold on a minute, I gotta do some... Don't go anywhere! You hear nothing but footsteps trailing away into silence. It could be time to head out, but she told you to wait, so you do. You are nothing if not committed. About 20 minutes in, the low skittering hum in the background fortifies itself into a more present rumble. From around the corner, one of the dilapidated doors comes a source, the patter of feet, a low, unintelligible whisper, and the clicking of joints. It's people, and they look like you. Well, almost. It's more that you look like if a child drew them. Their simple frames made simpler with softer edges. Your skin is actually skin, right? They chitter around you and squish your arm meats to make sure, yeah, you aren't shitness. Oof. Wait, is this bad? You're trying to process whether you're relieved that you have the bodily makeup you thought you did, or if you're sad about the space-time you thought you might have the space of time that you thought you might have finally found your kin was so fleeting. You don't get a chance to sort it through it fully, because the new guy's surrounding you and they look hungry. It might be you or the pumpkin here, so you hold it out towards them and hope for the best. They take it, chittering what seems to be their thanks, shrink back into the night. You check them off your mental list of predators and sit for a beat. It feels like you're waiting for more than Roxy's return, like this is a moment of choice. Jesus, fuck, you went all through this effort to try things a new way. And what did it get you? Nothing. You've never had such a spectacular failure to connect upon the first meeting of someone. So what are you supposed to do now? You wait, but the familiar push against your ribcage to decide something doesn't come. What is this drive to make you choose anyway? What if you just wanted to sit on your ass and do nothing, huh? What if you are tired of choosing, when every choice you make takes you further from anything good? And who knows, maybe you're supposed to do nothing. Maybe that's what your plan was all along, huh, tough guy? You don't know who that little jab was aimed at, but you want nothing more in this moment than to petulantly slap the reins of choice off your shoulders. If only there were the reins to slap. God, impotent rage is the worst. After a minute of continued seething at nothing, you feel it. See what the chess guy knows, give up and see if Nepeta wants to hang out. Doors locked, smash a window, bitch. I want to go see Nepeta, what? If they're giving me the option to go see Nepeta, I'm gonna go see Nepeta, what the hell? I think we should go see Nepeta. Nice try, can't tempt me with a fun friend this time, bucko. What the hell? Alright. What? 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 Blinking, you feel the desire to act ebb away. It's replaced by a tingly giddiness at the victory of your what? Inertia? You'll be kind to yourself and call it fortitude and resolution instead. You're gonna wait this shit through. You do what you promised, and wait. Eventually, you curl up on the welcome mat and pass out like a stray kitten. At some point in the night, you open your eyes for one blearily moment as a chess guy lays a blanket over you. The creak of the door next to your ear jolts you awake. Towering above you, sharp, bright rays of morning sun, is Roxy. Oh shit, you are real. I came out here so I could prove to past tipsy me that it was just a daymare or some shit, but now you're here, and here am I. So, let's dig right in. Did you or did you not say human English words, including my name, to me last night? You did do that? Well, time to reckon with this then, I guess. Might still be a little buzzed, so I'm just gonna see how this might play out. Stick with me. She beckons you inside and you scramble to your feet and follow her. All that waiting paid off, didn't it? You emanate smugness in every direction as you walk, just in case there are any entities or narrative concepts around that have the capacity for feeling slighted by such a thing. You trail behind her into the living room, explaining how you knew her name via her friends. Oh, okay, that makes more sense, Lamau. That make you the one who convinced Jane of the stuff about our reality that I've been trying to get her to see for quite some fucking time. The benefits of being able to be there to show her in person, I guess. She stands next to the couch, her shoulders bunched up, popping her fingers. She isn't looking at you. She told me you could time travel, but she failed to mention the part about how you're some kind of alien. Alien, sorry to offend. But if I'm being real, it's not like our communication style is full and truly without gaps on a normal day. So this checks out. She scrunches her face up and groans. Ah, I'm so sorry. I'm being a jelly-belly Deborah downer. Lamau, what the fuck is wrong with me? Here you are, a friend in the flesh, and I'm just over here whining away about my other friends with whom I love very much. This is just a lot, Lamau. I've daydreamed all the potential friend meeting scenarios I thought might ever happen, with any and all combos, and my 4 friends whisking me off on a friend sojourn. I just didn't consider a new one might show up on my door disguised as one of the little neighbors, so... Yeah, you're super sorry for how last night went down. And for what it's worth, we've made friends with, like, a lot of people. And all the friend-making skills you've learned in your travels didn't save you from fucking this one up. There's no foolproof way you do it, or to do it, you figure. You would know, as a proven fool. Lamau, that is good to hear. Still, I'm sorry about ditching you right off the bat. I went to find a small sip of courage, which turned into a swig of courage, and that became a whole ass bottle of courage, which, as you know, can happen. So I did not so much come back outside to confront my harsh realities, namely you, as I did to comfort the real soft titties of my pillow on the floor next to my bed. Anyways, it's just that I've never heard my name come out of someone's mouth right next to me in real life before. You don't comment on the booze thing, y'all just met, and you don't want to come off as too preachy just yet. You try another angle instead. You could always try the meeting thing again? Like acting it out? Oh yeah, sure. Haha. Of course you didn't mean literally going back and redoing it. This is a salvageable situation, and you don't want to waste a redo if you don't have to. Oh, what? What you mean is you rarely get shit right the first time, or try anyway. Might as well give each other a clean slate. You hold your fist up and knock on the air in front of you. You hope she thinks this is cool and not lame, since you just kinda leapt into it and avoid thinking too much about all your false starts. You don't have time to worry long because she smiles, and it's brilliant. The shivering tension in her body shifts from anxious to excited as she hops a bit, getting into the moment. She breathes in, smoothing her shirt, and then puts a hand to her ear. Oh? Is that a knocking on my door? Whomsoever could it be? She bends down dramatically in welcome as she opens the invisible door and clasps her hands together as she focuses her bright gaze on you. Oh my fucking gee. Welcome to my abode, stranger. Soon to be more than stranger. Get on in here and let's get to frienditude. Frienditude. That might be coming on a little strong for typical company, but luckily, you are as friend-thirsty as they come, even without a goofball or a golf ball nuts forcing you to be. You introduce yourself and step over the pretend threshold, hand extended. Roxy takes it and pulls you in for a fast, tight hug. You wrap your noodly arm around her and return it, as tight as you can. At first, you tell yourself she needs it. After all, you can feel her trembling back, her unsteady breath. A minute or two passes and you realize your hands are shaking too. When was the last time you just held someone? Just let yourself be held. The moment is quiet. You know it's an awkward pose, the two of you just standing draped in each other in the middle of her house, and you realize belatedly that lying on the floor, there's a window like the one you fell right through before. Jesus, how did you get out of Doc Scratch's apartment? Now is not the time to think about that, but it's good. Calm. You could keep going, honestly, but she steps back and tucks a puff of hair back into place, clearing her throat. She still looks away from you, but she's grinning. Yeah, that was much better. Couple of friendships starting pros, am I right? They'll write guides to friendship about the two of you, you say. She sits down on the couch and gestures for you to join her, so you do too. Now that you're settled, what she said right before you did your little skit hits you in the brain, right in the face. Has she really never had anyone else around to speak to? Like, never? Never have I ever. What about the chess guys, as she called them, the ones she mistook you for? Oh, we can communicate for show, but not with words, really. I don't mean anything bad about it by them. They're really sweet, and when they aren't sneaking into my home. Plus, I don't blame them for their ways, on account of them being brought in by the Batter Witch and summarily forgotten. But IDK were not really on the same wavelength. So it just kind of fucked me up when I thought one of them was looking at me in my eyeballs and saying my name like I was... Oh, oof. Sorry, I'm still mega new to this. Her eyelids flutter closed as she shivers. Man, you thought Jake had it rough, but at least he had his grandma for a bit before she died. You wonder to yourself why she doesn't seem to have someone like that. You're about to do some mental math to see if you can work some connections out, but she gathers herself and interrupts you before you can do anything too smart. Anyway, to be clear, I can see the diff between you guys now. Though you do not look like them, TBH. It's just that you have the quality of, like, personhood to you. Anyway, the point is, the resemblance is certifiable. But you're like the velveteen chest guy. The what? Just because you're soft? Well, that too. But no, you know Velveteen Rabbit? It's one of the few books my mom left me that wasn't super dense in cerebral wizard fiction. So I read it a lot before I got grown enough to really appreciate the complexities of cerebral wizard genre. Yeah, you know, I like wizard actually. No, you don't know that one, but you are constantly searching for meaning in your fucking life, so you will definitely check it out if there's someone like you in it. And she mentioned her mom. She's not still around then, is she? Nah. Batter bitch killed her a long time ago, before I ever got here, back when society was uncollapsed and everything. But she knew I was coming, so she left me well stocked with some snacks, reading material, and booze to last a lifetime. Though I have put a considerable dent in the last category, so we shall see if her planning skills truly were up to par when all said and drunk. I thought maybe I was gonna get to meet her, and all my other friends in this big IRL multiplayer game I was gonna kick ass at, but now IDK, I guess I'm not playing anymore. Shit. You jump up as you put two and two together. You went to the past before. Oh well, you came from the past, from Jane and Jake's time, which Roxy already knows, but spatially you were here in this house, then in that time. There was a woman who lived in there then. You thought she was Roxy's mom at first, but then you maybe convinced yourself she wasn't, since a few hundred years happened between her and now. You don't know, a lot was going on. Oh my fucking god, you what? Was she beautiful? Hold on, let me show you. Roxy roots around a bookshelf for something that your brain starts expanding at a rapid rate. Concepts that have been hovering on the periphery of your mind suddenly converge. You already knew that Jane and Jake's deceased grandparents were your friends from the past, but you hadn't considered this, since you didn't know Roxy lived in the future then. Of course, all this shit's connected. Of course that would make... Did she look like this? She hands you a book, cover open to show the author photo. There she is, younger than she was when you saw her last night, but older than she was when you first met. You can't help but saying her name out loud. Rose. OMG! Why did grown-up her say you'd never met before, though? Is she not the same person? Fuck, the earlier math you were doing is wrong. This is the way bigger than 2 + 2. This is some serious mental calculus. You wiggle all your brainworms at once and it hits you. The way it felt different than normal when you hopped from Jake's house to wherever that one place was. How it happened when you brought Jake home again, too. Like your guts dissolved sideways, how they rearranged slower than when you once landed. Had it happened when you first landed in Jane's yard, too? You were probably too turned around to even notice then. You know Roxy's super hyped right now, but you tell her you gotta check something, do some science. You'll be right back. You zap backward again. What did I tell you about coming back here? Get your grubby time fingers out of my pie before you get caught. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Have a good day, ma'am. Okay, she's mad, which you expected. You also feel like an everyday wiggly belly time jump, which you also expected. You pop out of there, this time concentrating on your friend Rose, just a day after you last hung out. You should feel yourself zoom further backward toward her, right? Off you go, and wrong, it's that feeling again. That sideways dissolvement and reconstruction of your crudely rendered vowels. Oh, it's you. Long time no see. For you, I assume. Funny thing about that is no, actually, but you'll have to explain later. You apologize for paying her such a short visit and head back to Roxy. The feeling accompanies you yet again. You pop into Roxy's living room a fraction of a second after you left. Those brainworms are wiggling at top speeds. Damn, B. I know you don't know this about me, but I love science projects. I got a whole lab and everything. I'm Hexa qualified. Wanna take me with you? Oh, sorry, you already went. Fuck, there I go blinking and missing all the good shit. For the best, TBH, or else I'd have sat here worrying that you'd never come back. Abandonment crisis totes averted for the moment. High five. What rad science fact did you learn? Was about my mom? You take a deep breath. You're kind of laying down the knowledge tracks a second before your brain cart rolls them down, so you're hoping this makes sense as you piece it together word by word. You think this is a different universe? Well, what? You've met the woman Roxy thinks is mom, but you also have a friend named Rose from a while ago. She's friends with Jake's grandma and Jane's grandpa, and you're pretty sure she even read you some of this same fucking book at one point. But they can't be the same exact people, even if they all look the same. Things feel different there than they do here, like looking looking in an inside-out mirror with every cell of your body. Those definitely exist, don't worry. Hells to the yeah, I'm following you. Would love to gaze inside one of those mirrors and flip my shit some way. Would be a liar if I said I had never thought about that as a general concept, but that's besides the point. More importantly, what you're saying is, I have double the moms I thought I had yesterday. And you're also saying you can, like, go visit any and all the moms whenever you want? Just go on a mom visiting bender. Just no rules, just moms? And I can come along? Well, no, there are a couple of rules, but other than that, yeah. Damn, you thought she might take more convincing. Look around at all my gear and cat clones and general living situation, bud. Alls I'm saying is none of that is particularly hard to believe. And after all grief I endured trying to get Janie to believe me, it'd be pretty fucking stupid, not to mention rude as heck of me, to not believe you now. You're my friend. Phew, that is a relief. Your grasp on this shit is tenuous at best, so it's good she is so easy to win over. It is one of my best qualities, or at least one of the biggest ones. Oh, though, before she gets too excited, one of the rules does seem to be that her mom in this universe doesn't want to be visited, though. That's kind of a big one. Oh, I see. Well, did you say why? I mean, if y'all already hung out, what's so bad about one more chill stash? Unless, I don't know. It's okay for you, but you can definitely see her start to blame herself, so you cut her off. It's definitely not that she didn't seem interested. More like she couldn't. She shooed you away every time you tried to say hi, like she was afraid you'd fuck shit up, which, to be fair, you do regularly. She said she was preparing for something. You look around. Or someone. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. It's funny, actually. No, joking your leg. It sucks. Jerking your leg. But, like, situationally, it's funny. Because that game I mentioned that Janie's off destroying, a week ago, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to play. Was P ready to go to desperate measures to not play it if I'm being totes honest. But then Jane said she met you and was all hellbent on doing some righteous smiting to the whole company, IDK. It hit me that I kinda did want to play after all. Like, I thought maybe I'd meet Mom in the game, and I'd finally get to talk to this lady I built my whole ass sense of self around. Get to see how she is in real life, and figure out how bad I fucked up my version of it. Well, anyway, we aren't playing, so it didn't matter. I've been trying to be a good friend and lend my hackster skills to Jane's cause, but it hurts, and IDK had to tell her. And then you showed up, and my options shifted like 75 more times. I barely got time to come to terms with being okay to want something before it got swiped away from me, lol. Shit, you really didn't mean to mess with her expectations. You should have kept your mouth shut till you figured out what this all meant. She smiles at you, and you don't have to have known her for long to tell you that it's forced. Ah, shit, you can fix this. Yeah, we can go to Rose. Is there such a big age gap between Roxy and Rose? I never told him so, I'm kind of confused. Roxy isn't actually Rose's daughter, kinda. Roxy just exists 200 years after Rose and found Rose's stuff, and old Rose knew she was coming and prepared stuff, so she thinks of her as her mom. Alt universe plus time standards. Yeah, it's kind of weird, because then you get ectobiology and stuff like that all in there, but Roxy's essentially because there's two groups. There's the beta kids and the alpha kids. And the beta kids include Rose, John, Jade, and Dave, and then the alpha kids are Dirk, Roxy, Jane, and Jake. But even in the alpha timeline, or the timeline that the alpha kids come from, Roxy and Dirk are like just 200 years ahead of Jane and Jake. But they can still somehow communicate, again, through time shenanigans. And in the beta timeline, or the beta kids, their guardians are the equivalent of the alpha kids. So Dave's guardian is Bro, but Bro and Dirk are the same person. And when you go to the timeline with the Alpha kids, their guardians are the equivalent of the Beta kids. So Jake's grandma was Jade, Roxy's Roxy's mom is Rose, etc., etc. Dirk's guardian, or Dirk's bro, older bro, is Dave. So you kind of flip-flop you. It's a little bit of a swap over. Because of ectobiology shenanigans. Which is a thing. Yeah, time clone shenanigans. Yeah. What Violet said. Hey, who knows? Maybe her mom wouldn't mind another visit if you brought Roxy along. Maybe she was just annoyed when it was just you by your bothersome self. She was definitely a little sad when she talked about Roxy living so far away, temporally speaking. You really think? I mean, if you don't think she'd mind, I'd be 100% down, locked and loaded, ready to family bond right the Okay, wait, I thought we were gonna go to Rose, not Roxy's mom. I thought we were gonna go to Rose, the other Rose. Before I get too nervous, change my mind. Should we partake in a celebratory sip before we go? She reaches under her couch and pulls out a bottle of vodka. You make a non-committal noise as you work out how to respond. You call Jake out for enabling this, so you don't want to do the same. It's delicate, though. What am I thinking? She'll probably have her own stash anyway. Why else would she leave such a vast quantities of this stuff for me to reckon with? Haha, yeah, you guess? Though maybe she meant for her to bust into it when she was, like, a little bit older, or, like, maybe for special occasion. Well, saddle up and we can add that to the list of questions to ask her. It's gonna be P far down, though. I got a lot. You extend a hand and she takes it, and off you go. You choose a point a little further ahead in Rose's timeline, just to give her some time to miss you, just in case. You zap to the doorstep to ease Roxy into it. She plasters herself to the wall next to the door, breathing heavy. You take care of the knocking part. Oh shit, boy, this is it. Look at all these fucking trees around my house. Holy shit. Old Rose comes to the door, and from the look on her face as she stares down, she has absolutely not missed you, even a little bit. Ah, my incorrigible male person. What did I tell you before? You should not be here, or now. Her imperial bane of my existence may not be paying attention to what you do with your friends, but she's keeping tabs on me after your last visit. It isn't safe for you here, and I can't have you compromise this location. From the side, Roxy exhales. Rose turns. Her voice is soft and broken, snow falling from branches. Oh. Sorry, Miss Mom. Momlon? Roxy? We didn't mean to bust down operations. I just wanted to meet you. No, I know it. And despite the circumstances, I am so glad to have been able to see you too, more than you know. But you can't stay. Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, no worries. I'm sorry. You have to go right now before... A light streaks through the clouds, and you crane your neck to see it, but Rose grabs you both and drags you inside, slamming the door. Shit, this is bad, right? Fuck, she's even faster than I thought. I have to call Dave. I have to... She stops muttering to herself and speaks instead to you and Roxy with a sharp, decisive turn of her head. What's done is done. Get back, before there's nothing to get back to. But... Rose touches her knuckles to Roxy's cheek, and you feel like you shouldn't be here for this moment. Shouldn't have brought her here. Shouldn't have done anything ever. You never learned your fucking lesson. You do the only good thing left for you to do, and take Roxy's hand. She's still sputtering, pulling you as she reaches towards Rose. Oh, the sprite? That sprite looks sick as fuck. There's a low rumble and the house shakes. Rose has pulled some knitting needles out of nowhere, and they're sparking with energy. Now. When you open your eyes again, you're in Roxy's version of the same living room, or almost that. You know it's hers, though it's decorated more sparsely, and there's a corner of the house that's just fucking gone. Rebuilt house surrounding building work with rickety chest guy patch jobs. Shit. You stop surveying the timeline damage and instead look at Roxy. She's just standing blank, her hand over her mouth. You're so sorry. You never should have suggested they do that. It's probably best for you to go. All you do is make things worse. The slackness in her face turns to panic. No, please. I shouldn't have asked to go. It's my fault. Don't leave me. In your guts, you know you're the one responsible. You know you're the one in the wrong. You are supposed to be the responsible time traveler. You don't know how to make her see this without making her feel worse. She runs and opens a cabinet, and then a second, and a third, her movement even more frantic each time. Eventually, she surfaces, successful. Oh, thank fuck, the booze is still here. Always looking out for me, that mom. Look, it's okay. We can still have fun. You don't have to go. Please don't go. She's crying as she talks, her voice climbing higher with fear. Her smile is begging you. You know you'll have to look later. Check whatever corners of the internet or historical documents Roxy has laying around to see what happened, but you feel in your belly that it will only confirm what you suspect. It would be better if she hated you. You're not ready to face what you did, so you take the bottle Roxy is holding out toward you. Take a long, burning swig. More of you means less for her, you hope, as you pass the bottle back. Oh, no. Damn. That was a sad route. God damn, fuck. I thought we were gonna go to Beta Rose. Whoops. That sucks ass. Though, okay, this is making me think. Oh, I have to go through all of these? Okay. I would love to read a fic of like of alpha kids, like guardians, like Dave, like old Rose, old Dave, old Jade, because like they like had like the whole revolution shit, right, against the Condens, or like tried, like had that their attempt failed, but I would have loved to see that. I just want to see more Alpha Dave. I'm such a sucker for Alpha Dave. We saw him for like 2 panels in Homestuck, and I was instantly in love. I want to watch one of Dave's movies so badly. True! Oh my god, please. I need to see it. I need to see Director Dave. I need to see directed by Dave Strider so bad. Anything directed by this man. Moms are cool, but so are friends. It's not just moms, you tell her. You can definitely take her to go see any one of your friends she already has, too. Well, like right now? If she wants, yeah, you're down for whatever. Is it weird to be nervous about that? Don't get me wrong, I want to see the fuck out of some of my friends. Plop my eyes around those guys, followed of course by hugs. It's just a really big thing and I'm feeling a little dizzy even thinking about, even picking one. Yeah, you haven't met all our friends yet, but you know just enough about all the various dynamics for that to make sense. And hey, there's no need to rush. You could take her somewhere else, just the two of you. That way she can still get out of the house and see something new, rather than... And you guys can sit and talk through who to go see rather than leaping right into it. Yeah, okay, that sounds chill. Where to then, my cosmic taxi friend? Let's start somewhere chill, you say, and she nods. Like many things about Earth, there are places you know, but have no memory of ever having been to. They're just a part of your cultural knowledge, learned by your past self and later subsumed into the ever-widening miasma of your mind. You pick one of those places, somewhere that feels like at one point it could have been something you cared about. It looks like a forest at first, but the pine trees have been shaped by the wind. You turn and the earth in front of you butts up against the ancient stone of an outcropping. It stretches out below your feet in a long, striated arch until it curves into nothingness. Beyond it is an endless sea of mountains, rolling and rolling, fading deep green into blue as they turn into the sky, the sun just below the horizon. Oh, it's so open. Her voice is the quietest it's been since you met her, her bright, boisterous charm lulled into awe. You ask her if she thinks this will work. Are you shitting me? Buster, I have never seen a more gorgeous thing in my entire existence. We are gonna take a fucking seat and soak in this nature with every one of our pores. The visible ones, I mean. Don't go getting any ideas. Or, TBH, you could be doing naked cartwheels right now, and I wouldn't even notice because, as I said previously, my eyes are slurping up these sights. Fair, you're not agile enough for that, clothed or otherwise, but you're glad she likes it here. The two of you sit for a while, soaking it in. This is a schedule-free life you lead, so however long it takes for her to talk is fine with you. It doesn't take too long, though. So, you met Jane. Jake, too, if I'm not wrong. They talked about you some, but they've been more busy hanging out with you than talking about you, if I'm being honest. How about, Strider? He hasn't said anything about you, and I like to think he'd tell me if he got the one visitor of his whole life, but maybe he wouldn't be ready to share with me. It's a pretty big thing for me and him, or for me and for him, and for him it'd be even bigger. She seems poised to continue hypothesizing about him for a while, so you go ahead and tell her that no, you haven't met him, but you sure heard a lot about him from Jake. Oh yeah. What, would you get a different version of things from her? Lamau, how far in this drama you want to get? You're already pretty far entrenched as far as you can tell, so she might as well fill you in on the rest. Okay, so, I'm about to lay it all out there for you. Let's lay out all the interpersonal drama of Act 6 in one big ol' one little box. All the alpha kid drama in Act 6. Let's have the four-way conversation right now. Let's have that four-way God to your bed conversation right now. Fuck, I still love that scene. I think that's one of my favorite Homestuck moments was, what's the page number? Oh, I don't have it memorized. I'm pulling up an official Homestuck collection. That was like four-way conversation. Wow, I thought I bookmarked it a lot earlier. Where isn't my bookmarks? There it is. It's like 5,000, yeah, 5798. I fucking love that combo. Oh my god, I love that combo. 5798. Act 6, Act 5, Act 1. Alright. Because I trust you, and also IDK what to do about it all, and need to farm some fresh opinions. Might be just what I need. The way she turns to you and clutches her hand together, launching directly into the story, you'd never think she was new to slumber party gossip. We got quite the love quadrangle going down in this friend group. Janie and Dirk are both into Jake, which, like, fair. He's very sweet and a hunk no matter how you slice it. Jake, as you may know, is a wild card here. No idea who he might go for, which is also fair. If I am to continue to be a referee here, because Jane is a stone-cold fox, Lucius babe going hecka places, and Dirk is, whew, he's just about perfect. So, she trails off and wrinkles her nose as she looks back over the mountains. Her gaze is heavy with longing. Don't you, me? What? Seems like she's leading up to her spot in this quadrangle is all. Well, yeah, I'm in there. Like in the last one I mentioned. Huh, okay. What, you're doing it again? Oh, just for a minute you couldn't tell which direction she was heading. You thought she might be jealous of Dirk himself, the way she looked when she said all that, but if it's feelings she has for him, you're just trying to keep up. Roxy laughs and covers her face. Goddamn, called out here on top of the fucking world. You're not wrong, I guess, in a way. Not to continue the vicious call-out, but earlier it was her mom she said that she tried to be like, and now it's Dirk. You're like the president of the universe at trying to figure out who you are and trying on different ways to see what fits. So no judgment there. It's just that it seems like she has a lot of questions about who she wants to be, which is legit as hell. That's life, baby. Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing, you know. I wanted to be like her, because she's my family, and like the only person I knew about for so long. Then I met him, and I was like, oof, there's more unlockable options. Who knew? Maybe I could've, I don't know. I do have feelings for him, to be sure, but you are right. Sometimes with him, it gets all mixed up. You ever not sure if you want to be somebody or be with somebody? I mean, like, the me I made from nothing, and I don't want every single piece of his bullshit, of course, but he's like this shadow just out of my range of vision, like some kind of what if. Me if I had just been... I don't know if this makes any fucking sense outside my own head, though. What's that you said about a turn-away's mirror? Let's hop on that universe-jumping train and see where it takes us. Kind of curious if this is, like, playing into, because, Roxy... Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Roxy use he/him pronouns in meat? It's not in the candy route. It's specifically in the meat route of the epilogues. She has this whole thing about gender. I don't know if it's playing into that a little bit. This is kind of transmask of Roxy right here. A little bit. Let's hop on that universe jumping train and see where it takes us. Metaphorically, I mean, it can be encompassing more than just that element, but I'm getting a little bit of those vibes. As a trans man myself, I know the feeling of looking at somebody and being like, do I love them or do I want to be them? Is 100% playing into that. They defo play into the epilogues with the Alpha Kids route. Yeah. That's kind of the vibe I've been seeing. Though I feel like with Jane didn't really feel like playing into the Alpha Kid routes. I guess you could say, like, okay, she's set up for, you know, Crocker Corp and all the shit that happens with that, and, you know, the PesterQuest route is, like, steering that off the edge, right? You're steering away from that. But, like, Jane is so not a fascist in her route. Like, I don't know. I really hated how they treated Jane in the epilogues. Like, I really hated it. Because I like, Jane's PesterQuest was really, really nice. Though I guess, like, again, it's like, okay, well, she's, you know, using these, she has this, like, headband that's essentially, like, a brainwashing device, right? Like, but, I don't know. The Jane being a fascist in the epilogue seems so, like, it didn't seem like she was brainwashed. It seemed like she was a fascist, right? So, you know, people are like, oh, it's lingering effects. It's like, well, they could have made it more obvious if it's, like, you know, supposed to be very, it seemed more like the, like, conservative parent who has the conservative, like, grandparent who has very bad opinions and continues to stand by them, rather than somebody who's been, like, brainwashed, you know? Metaphorically, I mean. I'm not ready to move a single ass cheek off this bitchin' rock yet. It's all metaphorical anyway. Well, not the multiple universes thing. That's pretty much a fact as far as you can tell. But the turning yourself inside out bit, whatever it is about him that she feels pulling at her, this thing she wants for herself, it's probably bigger than him anyway. He's just a person who made her notice it, same as it was with her mom. And anyway, it turns out a lot of options are unlockable once you realize some locks were in your own brain to begin with. Damn, buddy. Is this what it's always like to talk to friends face to face? Hauling up piles of deep, meaningful truths left and right? Or is this just a you thing? You have absolutely no way of knowing, but you do know it happens to you a lot. It's different every time, though, and it never gets old. Good, because I feel like this got up layer one of all my thoughts and feelings about this stuff. I'm a little afraid to dig deeper, but if you're there with me, maybe we'll find some shit in there, and not just big empty question marks. Shit, yeah, you can go for round 2 whenever. Your game to keep digging at identity all day if she wants. Though, they did come up here to decide who to visit, right? Does this mean the choice is Dirk? God, I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe, eventually. I want to see all 3 of them, plus another friend I haven't mentioned yet, but you'd get along with her because she's also an alien. But I might want to start with my kid mom, who is visible. Not yet, though. Well, I never thought I would have thought I'd be putting this off any longer than I had to, but meeting you has been one of the best things I ever did. I want to sit and stew in this friend soup with you for a little longer, and savor the bites of my other friend soups when I can. However ready to eat or not, I might be. Shit, this metaphot is getting away from me. You can take me over. You're not sure how salvageable it is, but yeah, you're down to simmer with her as long as she wants, and you think she and her teen mom would get along very well, shared mom trauma and drama included, whenever it comes time to introduce them. She shouldn't have to worry about being perfectly ready, either. You haven't skipped ahead to see who she becomes, but you're pretty confident she has it in her to become someone she can be proud of and comfortable being. Someone that you can look back on this Roxy with kindness, too, no matter what choices she ends up making. You're gonna make me cry again, please no. Whew. Also, not that I'm gonna forget today, ever, but I should document. She pulls her phone out and holds it to frame her shot. She is glowing in the light of the sunrise. You watch her. You watch the sun. You watch the fog curl through the valleys below. Okay, now a selfie. She drapes her arm over your shoulder and points the camera at both of you. Work it. Oh yeah, that one's cute as fuck. She messes with her phone, opening a chat with someone whose handle you don't recognize. You wonder, as she sends the photo their way, if it's the alien friend. It'd be cool if Roxy was friends with a troll you hadn't met. Hey, you there? I guess not, but it's okay. I just wanted to say hi. I know we didn't talk much about the game not being on anymore last time we got to chatting, but I know we were both feeling it, and I got so many more updates for when you're back online, so get hype. And check out this choice-ass view I'm peeping right now. Preview. Thinking of you. It's time to get comfy on this rock. You may end up being here for a while since Roxy's not quite ready to zap anywhere else, which, when you consider, is fine. There is a difference, you think, between inaction and patience. There are small, weighty changes made in stillness. You worried you choose too much. And Roxy, afraid she was robbed of the choice from the start, meet in the middle. She pockets the phone and grins at you. You lean back on your elbows and tilt your head up towards the sky. Aww, such a nice route. Thank you, Key Smash, for the hydrate. I will do that now. Oh, a Cali route would be really nice. Okay. To preface, I don't like Caliborn. I think Caliborn's an asshole. I don't like Caliborn. However, I think a Caliborn route would be kind of funny, and I would kind of like to see it. I think it'd be funny. We have one more route for Roxy, and this is probably the one where we die almost immediately. You know how this shit goes. It's time to sit down, just the two of you, to talk through some hard truths before asking Jane if they want to meet for a tense but hopefully cathartic confrontation, which you'll have to film, of course. Shit, okay, it's time to go. You take a deep breath and call her out, the slick sleuth you are. You know she's pretending to be friends with Jane online. Oh, this is far cuter than I expected. Both his situation and your little self, I mean. I have in no way been doing that. It is more refreshing than I would have thought, though, to be reminded that there are dramas with stakes like these out there, in the midst of all of this. Her eyebrows pull together as her gaze goes right through you. You turn around, but there's nothing out there. While some of my moves, both personal and political, have brought my path across her family, I haven't interfered directly with Jane's life, and I don't intend to start. Can you say the same, friend? Is there a way you justify the strings you're pulling? I won't stop you, of course. I have my own matters to attend to. This is only food for thought, and I can see you are intellectually underfed. It might just be worth your while to contemplate the repercussions of the paths you're on. Did you have any further questions, or did you just come all this way just for that? You aren't really sure. Man, it seems like all you do is contemplate your path. You feel all turned around inside. Talking to whoever this is makes you feel like you stayed up too late staring at the moon and got all fucked up about existence till you felt too stupid to think about it anymore. But, like in a good way, you stare blankly at her while you try to remember your purpose. I will go ahead and take that as a no. Good luck, friend. She shuts the door of the driveway, and she shuts the door and you turn bewildered back towards the long driveway. Well, okay. You met someone, definitely wasn't Roxy, and you don't think whatever just happened counts as friendship, so you guess this one's a loss. Was it because you cheated at traveling like a regular person? Friendless and rudderless, you start the long, pointless walk of penance to somewhere. Aww. Aww, little guy. Alright, it is Dirk route time. I gotta pee really quick, so I will be right back. I'll be 2 seconds, and then we're gonna do Dirk route! Final route! Let's go! Alright, you're back. Alright, I'm back. And it's time. Here we go. Okay. Alright, Dirk time. You've come a long way. You've made a lot of friends and managed to keep them all. You're helping them grow, and you're growing alongside them, while also entrenching yourself in some ridiculous nonsense along the way. Living, laughing, loving, shitting, and farting. As is right in balance. You think so, anyway. You're still on the lookout for any specific bits of meaning to help nail down your sense of purpose, as it careens every which way according to the whims of friendship and fancy. Do you know how long the last route will take? I have no clue. We're currently at 2 hours. I assume it's gonna take, every route typically takes like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, so I'm assuming this will be about an hour long, maybe a bit longer than that. But I have no idea. I just know it's probably pretty long, because it's the ending. I'm assuming we still have 3 endings like we normally do, but I guess we'll see. There's a natural flow to all this, trolls in sets of 12, give or take, since some come in pairs as you think back to your first round of friends. Kids in sets of 4, you've had the time to realize more about the ones, or about the Earths you've been hopping between. A kid on one is an adult on the other. It's been weirdly relieving, seeing multiple versions of your friends, not that you seem to be bound by any of the same rules that they are. It's just that, as some whose self has been scattered to the winds of time, regathered thanks to Aradia, and is still not fully stable, it's kind of nice to see that it's not just you out there trying different shit out self-wise. When you think about the last friend left to visit in this set, you can't help but feel a bit guilty. With everything Jake told you about him, and from what you know of Dave's bro, you're not exactly meeting him with a clean slate. You haven't let anyone else's complicated personality traits hold you back from finding a way to befriend them, though. And you're not about to start now. You'll find a way to make it work. God, isn't it fun having such a complicated and nuanced tangle of interpersonal relationships within your friend group? Isn't it such a delightful challenge? Anyway, the point is, it's time to go meet Dirk. So you go. You don't know about where he lives, except that it's in the future, like Roxy minus Just Guys. You zap on what should almost definitely be the perfect distance from his door. There's a moment where you are weightless, suspended in midair like a cartoon coyote man, whose name you cannot remember because suddenly you are plummeting downward, and that takes all your attention. From what you can see in flashes as you spin head over heels, the thing you are rapidly approaching is the ocean. Before you achieve game fucking over, before you even begin, you saw yourself with a zap and out of reality, appearing just a few inches above the water. You land with a delicate splash. Now that your imminent threat of death has passed, you look up. Meadow rises up from the water in a towering scaffold. Dirk must live in the building up there. God damn it. You haul yourself up onto the janky platform at the corner of the scaffolding, a few above water rungs upward to get your shit together. It's not much to look at. You probably wouldn't even be able to spot it from the distance, but it'll do. In a minute you can pop back to the top floor, but you should wring yourself out first. There's a chair, which is weird. You sit in it. That was a slick fucking trick. Not the stealing my seat bit, though I do respect your presumptuous ass placement choices too. I mean the entrance. Nice save. You whirl around, but there's no one there. Aside from the endless ocean, the only shit in sight is the stuff from on the platform. Which, now that you're considering it, it reminds you of one of those outdoor man caves you sometimes see at rich people's houses. The kind where you don't know enough about electricity to get the rain, or to get why rain just doesn't fuck the whole thing up. Except instead of like a grill and a TV and an ashtray with an old cigar in it, it's a few screens, a keyboard, a turntable, a speaker, a couple hoverboard-looking things, and some complicated quad equipment. Both situations contain a mini-fridge. Dirk, you say his name and hope he shows up. After Roxy, you really thought that you were going to be bamboozled by another fake-out meeting, but who the fuck knows? Maybe this guy is a ghost? No, that's stupid. The one and only. Where is he? There's no need to get freaked out about it. I'm just talking through the speakers. Or more accurately, I'm just sending data through a text-to-speech converter, which is playing through the speakers. This isn't a function I've ever had the occasion to dust off, so this is genuinely thrilling. Thanks for trying and failing so miserably to break and enter in pursuit of friendship, or whatever you were doing. Oh, you know, you do your best. Is there a place he'd want to meet maybe? So y'all could talk and meet space? That's not exactly my forte. Let's just keep chatting like this for a bit, bro to bro. You can use the computer if the power of my voice is getting to be too much for you. It almost is for me, if I'm being honest here. From above, there's a metallic whirring sound. Ah shit, Daddy's home. Wait a minute. You look up and Dirk is rappelling down the scaffolding at alarming speed. The jig is up, so we might as well wrap this shit up. Yeah, I was like, we're talking to Hal, aren't we? Dirk swings in, landing with both feet on the platform. He straightens and stares at you, chin up. Well, you think he's staring at you. He's wearing shades, which you expected. It's been real, and don't worry, I won't be far. I never am. Neither Dirk's hands nor his mouth are moving, but his voice is still playing over the speaker. Your smile is nervous and probably too full of teeth. What's going on? I love this OST, oh my goodness. So you're the friendable alien I've heard about. I thought for a minute you already ate it, but I see you Peter Pan that shit. I'm not impressed. He says this the regular way, with his mouth. It should put you at ease, but it does not. Does he not remember talking about that already? You tell him it's nice to talk face to face since you thought he didn't want to meet you a minute ago when you first met. Oh, that wasn't me. Oh, you thought, well, wait, what? It wasn't? No, you just met a divergently evolved copy of my 13-year-old brain. The use of the speaker system is new, but it makes sense he's upped his game for interfering with relationships I'm busy foregoing in 3D. I guess I should go ahead and be proud of him for it. Well, damn, okay. I guess you have no reason to believe that's not possible since, wait, did you say relationships he's busy foregoing? Or, forging, not foregoing. Isn't that your whole thing? I was under the impression that you were here to befriend me. My friends haven't exactly kept quiet about you. I just figured you were saving the best for last. So true! Oh no, that's right, this is your thing. You just thought he might be more of a challenge. Wait, are you friendship negging him right now? Is that what's happening? How did it come to this? Well, hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay then, never mind. Oh, look at his little face. You guess it's working, might as well roll with it. Don't half-ass this one just because I know the gig. I still expect you to friend woo the shit out of me. Blitz the fuck out of this friendship chakra till I see the universe's heart through its asshole and what have you. I love him so much. Buddy, you have been around the friendship block a time or two. He has no reason to worry. You have the full confidence in your ability to show him friendship time in his life. Oh, I'm ready. I have listed my deepest secrets ready to unload on you right here, right now, if you think you can take it. He is sure talking a big game of preparedness, but you're not sure how true it is. Every line and muscle in his body is held in excruciatingly placidity. You've never seen a jaw so purposefully unclenched. It's almost like he's begging you to call him out on it. You do not call him on it. You're not sure how he'd get the idea that you can half-ass this, of all things. You'll just prove it to him with your deeds. It seems like that might be his love language. With that in mind, you hold a fist out for him to bump. Ah yes, dabs, the universal signal of brohood, sacrosanct across all of space-time. You'd be honored to give him this first. The corner of his mouth twitches, not quite a smile. What kind of monster would I have to be to reveal? Oh, look at the sprite! Oh, look at the sprite, I love him. I literally love him so much. I love Dirk so much. Oh my god, you do the thing! You do the thing! If he is having a moment about having touched another person for the first time, he isn't showing it, which is fine. Each at their own pace, right? So now we've got that all handled. What's next on the agenda? Do we leap straight into a heartfelt Q&A, or are we doing an activity first? Man, what should you do? You're not used to your friends giving you the third degree about your process, so you're a little out of step. You can't tell if he's genuinely curious or if he knows he's unbalancing you. Either way, it's intense. You look around for inspiration. Grilling? Nah, you're not a couple dads. Oh, the high-tech scuba gear could be cool. The tingle of choice pricks at your neck. I'm not sure you have the musculature to hold that up, no offense. I didn't have your literal stick figure proportions in mind when I designed it, and it's built more for looks and weight efficiency, so I don't think you'd last long in it. You're not missing much, though. It's not particularly thrilling down there anyway. Oh, good point. You can totally see yourself sinking like a stone, flailing your arms in a vain attempt to try looking cool while swimming, clawing at the metal clasps to free yourself. Zapping out at the last resort, but misjudging distance due to the distracting water in your mouth, it all going black, and you wonder why you didn't learn better when you hung out with that free. What? Damn, that was a pretty trail. Anyway, you could just hang out at his place instead. The classic option, that works for me. You hold your hand out to zap him up alongside you, but he doesn't take it. I'll meet you there. His inflection tilts up at the end, a sound shaped like half a question. He wants you to construe the meaning of yourself. What's the alternative? You piggyback up, or you piggyback ride as you climb all the way up. He shrugs. Yeah, if you're up for it. Music a little loud? Okay, I can turn down that. Is that a little bit better? I typically rocket board up, but a grueling climb is a good way as any to kill a morning, so either way. You consider your options as much as you want to see if he actually has it in him to beast you up the entire tower. Rocket boarding sounds infinitely more fun. You tell him as much. Hop on then. Oh! He's so fucking cool. He kicks it into place and fires it up, offering you his hand. You don't have anything to lose but another life, so you take it. Steadily, but fast enough, you have to cling to his shirt for safety. You fly upward. He circles the tower a few times in no hurry to make it to the top. That, or he's showing off? You don't think that's it, but you're still working it out. Confidence in the way his body moves, the subtle shift in weight to steer the machine. It all feels genuine, like this is a much more comfortable thing for him than the conversation was. The wind whips your face. There is sea in every direction. You land on top of the tower, and he waits for you to hop down before doing the same, then kickflips the rocket board into quiescence. Here we are, home sweet home. I hope you're prepared for just how homey this shit is, too. I've had nothing but time to flex my massive decor muscles. Damn. This is a room. Oh, why is Cal there? The sword! The sword! Oh my god, sword! Oh, I like how Dirk has seagulls rather than crows. That's actually pretty funny. Oh, I love that. What a beloved. Why does the pony have so many... Why? What's wrong with this? Why are there so many ropes on this pony? My god. You follow him inside into his room, like you have with everyone else. It's full of his shit, like everyone else. Unlike everyone else, he leans against his workbench, calm and collected and clearly, with every fiber of his being waiting for your judgment. I wonder if it's weird how you can tell that about him, since it does seem like he's putting a lot of effort into a facade. You aren't sure if he's unpracticed at having an audience, or if maybe you're just extra good at reading people by now. Maybe it's just that the shades are messing with you? Yeah, this is from the thumbnail. I just don't remember. There's so many fucking ropes. They're nothing new after Dave, but with Dirk, it's almost like he'd be less penetrable without them. You try and focus on the decor, as he clearly wants you to. What do you got going on? Oh, there are themes of puppets, horses, robots, and musical equipment. It's got the post-ironic whimsy of Dave's style, which you figure makes sense considering this universe's Dave had a hand in stocking it, but with a dash of Equise's unabashed taste. That's a bit of a surprise, but sure. Martha Stewart would fall to her knees, weeping at her defeat, you tell him, utterly destroyed by the feng shui and my cinder block placement. She'd retire on the spot, you say. The more you play off his jokes, the more he seems to loosen up for real, so you continue. Much better than the scuba diving trip already. What's down there, anyway? The ruins of the 21st century civilization, mostly. What did I pronounce? Oh, shit, yeah, boring as hell. He paused and tilts his head, considering. I wouldn't call them boring, necessarily. It's more that I find it cosmically frustrating to swim in literally any radial line and find nothing but wasted leftovers of a dead city. Feng shui. Yeah. I apologize. Aside from being dependent on it as a source of food, the ocean mostly functions for me as a suffocating and inescapable natural barrier between me and the rest of human history. It's a constant lapping reminder of my situation, so I'm not often hyped to pile the decibars on. Oh, hi, Danny! Not sure how well my deep personal beef with the imagery of the sea will land for you, but there it is. Feng shui, by the way. That sounds so much more correct. And I know that word. I just never... You know, sometimes, like, you read a word, but you never have to say it out loud, so you don't think about how to pronounce it. And you just pronounce it and you pronounce it bad, and then you're like, fuck, that's definitely not it. I think it may not be so offensive to me, or the metaphor less blatant, so it's embarrassing. Anyway, there's the first of my layers off. Feels fresh. Let's keep going. What else you got? It's a little unsettling how direct he's being about the friendship-building process, but it's not like we haven't been categorically pushing to achieve that title with literally everyone you have memory having met, so fair. You're sure you can come up with some things you've been curious about, if he's ready to dive in the deep end, if he'll forgive the continued aquatic figurative language, the love quadrangle, the questionable settings of the robotic gift choice for his would-be paramour, the difference of opinion on playing the game. He seems to be enjoying the theatricality of the friendship metagame dance you're doing, so you amp it up for him. You clasp your hands behind your back and face his room as you monologue, pausing for effect when the impulse strikes you. As you talk, you consider which would be the right issue to end on, to really zing him into opening up. Maybe his feelings about this universe is Dave, or just for fun, maybe where the horse stick comes from. Depending on which you choose, you could end up. Loath as I am to interrupt this ace-attorney monologue, I would touch that. You look down at where you were about to dramatically place your hand, and there's a goddamn sword there, haphazardly stored in the hand of some fucking dead-eyed puppet. Again, your brain careens down a fleeting pathway, accidental pressure, a clean slice of blood, a lot of it, and leave the katanas for the big boys. Although, if you want to touch a weapon, holy shit, do I have an idea. He scoots by you and reaches into a corner of the room, coming up holding a really shitty blue sword. Artifacting. Sword is a loose term, though, and honestly, holding is too. An object so shitty you can barely focus on it is sort of flipping through his hand. He holds it out to you as best he can. In the name of this succulent convergence of science and bullshit, I need to see what happens when you touch this thing. You reach out and take it from his hand. It steadies under your grasp. Dirk hops up onto his workbench to sit and observe, and you slice it through the air a time or two. Absolutely goddamn incredible. Something about your narrative liminality and rudimentary form must allow you to actually wield this piece of shit artifact I inherited from my bro. The implications of this are likely jack fucking nothing, but it's still easily the best thing I've ever seen. He's leaning forward, laughing, dimples carved into his freckled cheeks. There's a small twist in your heart about it, and you can't really smile. Look at the sprite. Look at the sprite. I love him so much. You're really just able to hold that fucking thing. He clears his throat and settles down, adjusting his glasses. Okay, we're gonna, before we get more into this route, obviously something's going on with these timelines. We haven't gotten choices yet, which we're still kind of early, but we've had 2 moments now where, like, in theory the timeline would shift, but we haven't gone that way, but we've seen, like, very vivid flashbacks of, like, what, or like, flash of what would happen. Definitely some Ultimate Dirk stuff happening. Definitely. Now, the question is this Ultimate Dirk? Is this regular Dirk and Ultimate Dirk is gonna show up? It's like something weird's happening. I'm curious. I'm intrigued. Thanks for that. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. You were attempting to locate my weak points. Did you want to keep adding to the list, or zero in on one option? So far, the short answers are a quartet of teams with not a lot of choices. What do you expect? Call up my autoresponder if you want to hash out that one, and it's all under control. You guess it all boils down to the same general topics, really, his friends. That's where this whole thing always ends up, anyway, right? Especially since you're his pathway, to being able to hang out with them now. Dirk just shrugs. Huh. You thought that he'd have a stronger opinion about that one. Doesn't he want to hang out with his friends? Doesn't he want to finally meet Jake? He wrinkles his face like you've shoved a lemon in his mouth. Come on, dude. You can't just spirit me away to the person I want to see most right off the bat. At least make me try and earn it first. He shifts his weight. The light from the window bounced off the choppy mirror of the ocean is bright against his back. Does he have to earn it? You mean, doesn't he think it's been hard enough already? His laugh this time is hollow. Is there a cap on that? You're not sure, but your whole existence is a series of cheat codes, so what else does he expect from you? You whip the sword around a few times to prove your point, but it kind of makes you dizzy to watch, so you put it back in the corner. And anyway, you know he'll cave at some point. How else is he going to get to see them, now that the game is off? Excuse me. He shrugs again. What? What? He does know you're not playing anymore, right? Like, they're even talking about a larger operation to shut the whole thing down for everyone on the planet. I know they think that's what's happening, but I'm not worried about it. They'll all play when the time comes. How in the world does he know that? Last I checked with any of them, they all moved on. I haven't gotten around to convincing them yet, but I will. It's clear that you spend a lot of time with them, but they're my friends too. I think I know what they'll do. His dismissiveness is raising your hard-to-raise hackles. That's not really the point, though, you say. Won't trying to get them back on board just amp up the conflict in this friend group? And more importantly, why bother to make that choice for them? He doesn't even need the game anymore. You can just take him to see them. He can skip out the machinations and just hang out with his friends without having to prove anything to anyone. It's easy. The slight tightening of his eyebrows is the only thing that shows his frustration. The rest of him is still. The vowels in his drawl are slick and sharp, black ice on a curved country road. It's not that simple. Do you think I don't want to see him? Do you think I'd tear off every single page of my Sweet Grow and Hella Jeff quote-a-day calendar without thinking about that? There are a lot of cards and a lot of hands here, which I'm not sure you're truly appreciating the importance of. I can't just fold mine and hope shit works out instead. Things are in motion. Things have been in motion since before I was born. You can't just stop them without massive fallout. Yeah, you're not saying you know all the answers, just that you know some of them. And you feel like he could trust you a little bit. He looks at you like you slapped him. Trust you? Well, yeah. A weak puff of air leaves his mouth as he shakes his head. This entire morning has been an exercise in trust. Has it? Dirk is still for a minute. He's probably still staring at you behind those shades. When he speaks again, his voice is steady, but the room is heavy with every ounce of tension he's suppressing. Okay, let's sketch this out. What are the parameters of vulnerability that would count, if the ones I'm extending don't? You were just freewheeling there, but you guess you gotta come up with something concrete for him. Okay, how's this? He does all the dangerous scuba diving and sword fighting and rocket boarding shit that could go sideways at any moment, but he wouldn't even let you zap him. There's an example. Okay, yes, that's true. I want to be the only one in charge of endangering my own life. You got me. But trust isn't only meaningful if it's given completely, or in terms of physical safety. I've been preparing myself for this, for you, ever since I heard you were making the rounds. I was ready to... He trails off, shaking his head. His wordlessness seems to frustrate him more than anything you've said. He seems really unpracticed at getting riled up, and you wonder how often someone pushes his buttons like this. You're not really sure how the two of you got to this point. Argumentative isn't your main mode either, and you can tell you've pushed too far. Never mind. Here. He hops off the workbench, rolls his shoulders, and grabs your hand. Do it. You don't ask where. He picks somewhere close by, but scary enough for his thrill-seeker ass to feel like it was worth the effort. They are up at the top of the tower on Dirk's roof is calmer than you would have thought it would be. He drops your hand and steps back, leaning against the landing. Crushed it. See, sometimes trying new shit and trusting people with your well-being can be fine. Sometimes all you need is a friend to prove to you that they have your back. Dirk scrunches his face up like you're embarrassing him. You mean, empirically speaking, it seems like what just happened is solid proof that, yeah, okay, I get it, thanks. He's smiling, so you don't push into that thank you. But you do wonder, after a minute of looking out over the ocean with him, if it's time to scoot things along. You weren't in a hurry, really, but you were getting somewhere before, even if it was a little uncomfortable. He's trying. Maybe harder than anyone has actively tried to befriend you yet. The fact that you think that is still sort of funny to you. Maybe Dirk isn't this transparent to everyone. Maybe it's just you and your non-stop thirst to know people. How much has this boy wanted to be known? You remember your earlier skepticism about him and laugh to yourself. You haven't had to make yourself try and like him at all. You just do. Weird, uptight shit and everything. There's a lot of Dirk going on in there. But you're ready to try and understand him more. It's what you do. So you press on. Try one more time to convince him to drop the idea of playing the game. Give some rest and talk about something else. Also, hi, Cowl. A choice. Interesting. Let's talk about something else. We're gonna go easy mode. What? Holy shit, this is... Holy shit, this is excruciating. I keep thinking if I ignore this bullshit, it will sort itself out, but Christ. I don't need to see this. No one needs to see this. What the fuck? Huh? Wait, can he not hear? You stopped the choice train once before yourself, but you've never been interrupted by someone else. I thought we were having a chill bro moment until just now. I have no clue what you're talking about. I can't believe I was ever this pathetic. Dirk, you had all day, every day, to do nothing but get swole in both body and mind, and this is how you spent your time, looking wistfully out at the sky? No wonder you're out here falling for this friendship's weak shit overtures. Oh my god, what? Once again, you find yourself looking around for a Dirk who is nowhere to be found. Regular Dirk, who you were finally getting somewhere with, is looking at you like you've lost your last marble. Dirk really doesn't hear that. It sounds like him, just like older and meaner. No, dude, are you okay? Fine, if your meager little brain needs me to assume corporeal form in order to process this, I'll do it. There he is! Feast your eyes. Holy shit. Holy shit. Sup, Dirk. I'll get to you in a minute. I have to deal with this little meddler first. He turns- look at the fucking face! My god! The lad! He turns to you and you step back reflexively. Your eyes flick to your Dirk, who is staring, mouth slack at his older self. I have let you piss around for far too long. To be fair, to myself, which is important, I have had a lot on my OST! Sorry, it's a banger! I have had a lot on my plate, creating a whole species from scratch as in child's play. So, I let this one go, figuring you'd fuck up and die for real, but you keep coming back, and it's getting out of hand. So the plan is this: let my man Dirk do his thing, you fuck off and let people live their arcs. I clean up your mess, and then get back to being God, while this timeline continues on as it's supposed to be. Are we good? Jesus, alternate timelines and multiple selves aren't anything particularly new to you think, but you still don't know what got so far up his ass here. No, we're not good. You are in the middle of something, a sacred rite of friendship to be fucked up by no one but yourself. You don't know what kind of stuff the future holds, but that isn't your purview. This is, and he's the one interrupting that. Oh my god, I can't work like this. You have to understand the scale we're working with. He flicks you upside the temple, and you feel instantly like your brain got strapped to the nose of a rocket ship on liftoff. You see a young man standing in his bedroom. Wait, you know him. Your eyes roll back in your head and you feel his story rush into you panel by panel, page by page. Some of it you remember well when you were trapped in Doc Scratch's apartment, and other stuff is newer, raw, sweet and sickening. Honks and caws and glubs and bluzz froth together in synaptical transmutation of an unholy cultural zeitgeist that jolts through you like light blasting down your cerebral cortex and out through your clenched teeth. When it's done, you collapse to the floor. Oh, fuck. You remember it. You remember Homestuck. It's so fresh, too. So many of your friends dead. Some of them more than once. Shit. Dirk! You open your eyes and Dirk is standing over you, his hand on your shoulder. Oh god, you're alive. You were starting to freak me out. Almost as much as shredded and deranged me over there is freaking me out. But let's just take this all in one step at a time. Why do we mean to remember Homestuck? True. Anyway, now that you're up, what just happened? Future me was being real cryptic dick while you were conked out. Patience is a virtue, Dirk. I just had to get our time-traveling buddy informed first so they can make the right call. Shit, okay, you don't know where to begin. You look at Dirk's face, not even trying to hide your concern for you, hide his concern for you, and holy shit, you care about him. You cared about him before you knew every tiny fucked up detail about his life, and now, with the reminder of where his story leads, leaning smugly against the railing, you find you still do. He's intense and pushy and profoundly complicated, and right now he's helping you to your feet, his hands steady and firm on your back as you find your balance. You look back and forth between the two of them, trying to organize your thoughts as Dirk waits for you to respond. This isn't as simple as an evil Dirk and a good one. If you've learned anything from your travels, it's that everyone has the capacity for hurt inside of them, and everyone has the capacity for love. It's just a matter of proportion, of choice, of circumstance, of time, and if you're being fair, of interpretation too. Part of you wants to grab Dirk and run, to save him from this trajectory he's on, but then, if you claim that level of control, are you really any better than ultimate Dirk is himself? Who the fuck are you to make these choices for other people? What gives you the right to wrench canon from the people it belongs to the people it is about? Why does it always come back to you making a fucking choice? Go ahead, answer me. I'll correct you if you get anything wrong, don't worry. Oh, you bet he fucking will, you say, no doubts there. You pause your internal debate, take a deep breath, and explain things to your friend.
This is the Mega Dirk, the combo of all splinters of Dirk, fermenting in his flesh container and not holding onto his shit nearly as well as he likes to pretend. Ultimate Dirk tisks. You wish. You ignore him and continue explaining. Ultimate Dirk has done a lot of heinous shit to the people he used to care about, to the people Dirk cares about. And he just brain blasts you with memories you used to have, among other things. Everything that will ever happen to Dirk and his friends in the future, all in order to convince you to keep everything on that path. He wants the same thing Dirk just finished arguing with you about, wanting a future where they play the game. Dirk is still staring at Ultimate Dirk. Shit. You keep going, telling him you know how it might be a far-fetched from his vantage point, but it is a path he goes down. Dirk finally speaks. No, I can see it. I mean, if anyone was going to pull an unyou but stronger, it would be of all of me combined. Exactly. So now we should all be on the same page vis-a-vis what we should do about this. Which starts with the flat fuck going back to wherever they came from, and the rest of us going back to our regularly scheduled programming. God, you can't even look at this guy, you think. As you look at him, he's so smug, trapped so far down the path he's planned for himself, that he can't even entertain the idea that he could be wrong about it tearing him apart. The more you look at him, the more you can't stand him. Prince of hard-ass bastard destroying everything you worked to make. Fuck. Forget all that stuff you worried about before. How dare you let yourself be convinced that he could be right? Your allegiance is not to the story, but to the people within it, no matter what. Do you have a plan for how to protect your friends without the tenets of canon? No. Do you give a single shitting fuck? Also no. You know he could end you immediately, but you feel freed by the number of times you died. You do not fear him. He is not your concern. You turn to Dirk. You're sorry, you say, but fuck this guy. Don't listen to him. Everything you just remembered, all the stuff he was using to prove his point, it only makes you even more sure of what you said before that Dirk can still be happy without all that. He doesn't have to play the game with you. Wow, listen to them trying to boss you around like that, Dirk. I'll tell you what you don't. Or I'll tell you what you don't do. Don't for a second think I'm too far gone to remember what it's like to be you. Don't pretend you haven't wanted to know what I know, to align every part of yourself until you know it all, feel it all. Don't be afraid of becoming who you need to become. The end always justifies the means first. You know this. Fuck that. You're sorry to yell. You never yell this much, but fuck that. This bitch can't bear the thought of a timeline existing without his influence, or even his worldview that everything has to be painful to matter. Things are already more painful enough. He doesn't have to work overtime to create more pain just so he can feel like he's in control of how much punishment he gets and how badly he serves it. Because Dirk doesn't deserve it, you say, and you look at the one you mean it for. He's not looking back at you. He's looking at Ultimate Dirk, and there's something about the soft falling arch of his eyebrow that just folds you up and makes you whole. It's longing like you've never seen in your life, deep and consuming, with a silver glint of loathing. He's going to drown in it if you don't do something. What could you do, you wonder? You care about him. And he does about you to a degree. You know Dirk now, and you know how he loves, though it's fierce to a definite fault. He does not do it easily. You're not the one who can get through this. He hasn't known you long enough, but you can be a bridge. But to whom? Part of you wants to test out a few things, to throw a couple friends at the wall and see what sticks. That doesn't sit right with you right now, though it's messy, and you know Dirk would hate having his feelings experimented on like that. Even after all this, you find yourself not wanting to do that to him. Thank fuck for your side ability to animate monologue to yourself in your head without time passing too quickly, because you really need to think this one through. You have to pick one single person to help convince him he doesn't need what Ultimate Dirk is offering. Jake? God, no, not right now. He'd be eaten alive by Ultimate Dirk, and you can't do that to him. He's your friend too. Maybe a wild card. Someone Dirk doesn't know but could get along with, like Equius? He's like Dirk if Dirk liked to get bossed around, so he might get along great actually, though you need someone who can tell Dirk what to do in this moment. So then again, you can't hedge your bets and bring everyone because that just overwhelms him, plus there's no budget or time for that. The answer punches you hard in the chest, and you're about to sneak away when you find them when Ultimate Dirk speaks up. That was a touching rant you just gave. Very compelling. You know what? Fine. Do what you do best. You choose. Steal him away to obscurity or leave him to his destiny. I'm not worried. In fact, as a show of trust in my younger splinter, I'll even fuck off myself until go time. on the 1 in a million chance you do actually get him to go with you, there's no way that's going to be a good end, and we all know he'd regret it. He'll second guess if it was the right thing every day of his life until he realizes what a flaccid existence he's leading. But by then it'll be too late. Do your worst. There's a jolt, and then he's gone. There's a beat of silence where you were trying to work out how to act normal, now that you know what you know, but thankfully he speaks first. Are all your hangouts this buck fucking wild, or did you really pull out all the stops for me? Well, you were about to pull out another when Ultimate Dirk just blasted off like that. It's not too late, though, if he'll agree to at least hear you out. Well then, by all means, continue bowling. Let's see where this shit takes us. You'll be right back, you tell him. I'll be right here just chilling and contemplating existence and my place in it, no worries. You zap this time. The zap this time is even more disorienting than your sideways universe zap. You know why, though, since you know everything. You're not sure you're supposed to be here, but Ultimate Dirk already accused you of fucking shit up. So why not fuck shit up a little harder? You want to go pick up this person, and specifically this version of this person. The version you made friends with already isn't ready to meet Dirk yet, probably. But thanks to your recent mind freak, you remember that this one, having lost his Dirk, might be a little more interested.
Yes.
Whoa, what? Who the fuck are you? Okay, that answers your question. You guess you fucked things up at the point, to the point that the candy timeline is not the same as the one you were making friends in before. This is probably the stuff Ultimate Dirk is so bent up out of shape about fixing. Well, it is what it is. You didn't have time to come up with your elevator pitch, but you worked best at full power to empathy, 0 to planning. So here you go. Hey, you tell him, sorry to intrude, but you have a pretty big favor to ask him. You know, he doesn't know you, but you know an alternate version of him that lives outside canon. You met and went to Olive Garden and made friends, and you promised you're legit. Bro, you said Olive Garden? You got me. Ah, I love his sprite, I love his sprite, I love his sprite, I love his sprite. It is Epilogues, Dave? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Epilogues, Dave. Yeah. That's like a magic word to get you to trust me or to get me to trust you implicitly. Don't spread that around though. Also, you look like someone ironed the mayor, so that's like a million more points in your favor. And I am doing dick else that's useful all day. Or any day, to be real with you. So what's the favor? Okay, whew, great. The favor is you need to borrow him for like a quick minute so he can help you have a conversation with your universe's Dirk. At the sound of Dirk's name, he goes still. See, Dirk's convinced he needs to take the advice of yet another universe's way shittier Dirk and retcon your whole friendship mission so that they can go off and make canon happen, which ends pretty badly for a lot of people, your friends, involved, and now that you know that, you really want him to just side with you and let everyone chill and hang out and live their lives, and you're not sure about all the details about how that will work yet, but the point is that Dirk, I'm in. Great, sick, yes, okay. You take his hand and off you go. When you pop back, Dirk is standing how he was when you first met him, casually braced for emotionally fatal impact. There's a moment where Dirk and Dave just stare each other down, like neither of them are fully ready to register the reality of the other. You really fucking hope this works because it's your Hail Mary. Sup? Holy fuck, man, I didn't think invoking the name of Olive Garden would have this much effect on you, but here the fuck we are. I mean, sup. Yeah, sup. Oh, my fucking babies. Oh, I love them so much. Oh my god, they're fucking... his first hug. Oh. My children. Dave pulls him into a short, back-thumping bro hug, which Dirk weathers like a wet cat not trusting a towel to dry him off. So, I'll be real with you, we've already had a version of this first meeting convo, and we used, like, a lightning round conversational mechanism to get shit poppin', but I get the feeling we don't have time for all that right now, so I'll skip a few steps for you. Our little mutual friend here says you got options. Well, they seem to think I do, but I'm not convinced. Do you have opinions about it? Sure do. I mean, I'd do anything this little pal suggested after what they just did for me, but like, what's even the situation? They don't want you to play Spurb, and some other you does? There's a little more to it than that, but yeah, that's the gist. You watch them chat. This is good, you think? Good. But you're not sure it's enough. You think Dirk is your friend now, but the more you think about it, the weirder the word feels in your brain. Friendship means something different to everyone you've met. Safety, fun, a wake-up call, a person to talk to. You hope that for at least some of them, you've helped them see what is lovable inside themselves. You look at Dirk and wonder if he'll be one of those. He's so polite to Dave. He must be afraid. Does Dirk even believe others can, of their own volition, love him? You tune back in. Man, if you wanted to argue about canon, you should have asked the bro here to get, like, anybody else to come along. That shit's not my forte, but seems to me that's not some immutable bastion of narrative sanctity. It's just some shit some assholes said and did and some choices they made. Okay, well, if I don't follow the plan, beat the game, and get to where you are now, how do I know my choices will still matter? I don't know, man. You're not in my timeline anymore because of a choice you made a while back, so my mileage may vary a bit. Dirk shifts backward. You wish he'd look more surprised about it. Oh, yeah. I don't want to waste your time or anything. Just getting to talk to you is worth it, so, I don't know, do what you gotta do, but like, coming from me, a guy who could have done some stuff differently himself, at least try to trust your friend. I know you don't like believing this stuff, but maybe listen to the people who like you for you, because they mean it. I'm rambling now, I guess, so guess if I had to say one thing, or if I had one thing to say to you, it'd just be, it's okay to not have all the answers. Yeah, that's what I tell you. Dirk nods. So, I'm processing that a lot. But I also cannot go any further in this conversation without telling you that our little friend is liminal enough to actually be able to hold the sword. Yo, holy fuck, what? Oh, wow. Dave, huh? Okay, bringing fucking guns to a knife fight here. I didn't expect this level of underhanded maneuvering from you, but I'll respect the play. Doesn't matter, I've come back with my own cheat. He's back! Sorry for the delay, I had to deal with some shit on my end. New plan, forget us all going our separate ways to fix shit. Dirk, you're coming with me. Your friend was right about one thing, things don't need to go back to the way they were here. But, oh wait, hold on, make sure I'm reading this right. New plan, we're all going our separate ways. Your friend was right here about one thing, things don't need to go back to the way they were. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I'll tell you guys, yeah. You know the line. But not for any lame reasons like the power of love. I have plans bigger than that. I promise you, this limp dick excuse for a friend doesn't measure up to all the shit I could show you. Will show you. Sure, it might hurt to leave your friends behind at first, and sure, you'll miss out on Jake's carnal charms, but that emptiness will fade when you realize the true power you have. Ultimate Dirk extends his hand, his cape billows obnoxiously behind him. Dirk looks at you, then at Dave. Shit, you were almost there. You have no time left to waste. You close your eyes and will the choice to come to you. Stop him, don't stop him. One of these has to work, right? You don't feel confident. You look at Dirk and it hits you. Ultimate Dirk was maddeningly right. It won't work if there's room for Dirk to regret it. You're not sure either of you would ever be certain if it was the right choice unless you let Dirk choose for himself. No more telling him what to do. No more telling anyone what to do. When you feel the choice pricking at you, you turn it outward, and flip the power in your belly inside out, and give weight to it for a moment. You wait to see what Dirk does with the thing wearing him. Oh, wait. Pump that shit up, pump it up. Oh, this one. This fucking track. Fucking yes! Oh my god. You see it manifest in his brain, and in yours, and your stomach plunges. It feels rigid from the start. There's no way Dirk will choose you and Dave when he's gone and framed it like that. God damn it. Too late to change anything yourself. You wait for Dirk to choose. Trust yourself, trust them. Wait, this is fucking... Yeah, trust them. right? Not yourself. You don't want to trust yourself. Trust them. Right? Oh god. Sorry, man. Your heart drops, and then you see who he's looking at. Guess you can call this one a bad end, yeah? Luckily for you, there's almost definitely another of me that can't wait to sail the 7 seas of story with you or some shit. He licks his lips and raises his chin, braced for ultimate Dirk to challenge his call. I assume with your huge fucking brains you can see that happening as we speak, yes? So no need to be a sore loser now. Be good to that me, will you? Treat him right. As right as he wants me to, I promise. Anyway, I did say 1 in a million odds, so statistically, you have to bust out at least once. It's fucking gross to experience. Good thing it'll get totally assimilated into the other versions of this conversation. Now's not really the time to play. Actually, it's usually just a binary card. Don't want to complicate that particular issue for him, so you let it lie. You step forward, shoulder brushing Dirk's. Don't gloat, it's gosh. Enjoy your moment of irrelevance before this one goes down the drain. Oh, this track goes so fucking hard. Deuces. Hell yes, yes! You stop your little celebration when you notice Dirk is still shaky. Holy shit, what did I just do? This future you have in the works better be fucking good, dude. Are you kidding me? They got it on lock. Oh, he knows it. You don't tell him you don't know every single detail yet, but you understand yourself now. You'll work it out when you need to. You always do. It's okay, you think. If Dirk is a little afraid, it comes with the territory when you let people in, and he'll have even more practice with that as soon as you can zap up some more company. It won't be smooth sailing, though, you warn him. As long as we move past the sailing metaphor, you can jack that difficulty level up as high as you like. Oh, we are anti-ocean here. Oh yeah, extremely. Fuck water, am I right? Dirk turns his head slightly, and you know he's not looking at you. He's looking at you. He smiles, and you know he gets it. It's not about this being a real timeline or a fake one, the hard one or the easy one. It's about it being his, if he wants it. Which you realize as you watch him turn back to laugh along with Dave, he does. Yes! Wait, this is what the image comes from! Oh my god, I know this image! Oh my god! Oh my god, I know this image! Oh my god, that's the PFP that everybody uses. Oh my god, I don't want to look at the other... I don't want to know the other endings. I don't want to know the other endings. Oh no. Oh no. We just end here. We just end here. Oh! Oh! What? You fucker. You piece of shit. The air between you and the two of them opens up like a wound in the universe, and you feel yourself being pulled toward it. You see him in there too, that fucking bastard. As Ultimate Dirk pulls you through what you can only conceptualize as a tear in the narrative, you turn and look at Dirk and Dave. This is sure to lead to some bullshit, and you need to confirm that they're still intact. You aren't sure where you're going next, but you don't want them to worry. As the hole starts to reseal itself with them on the other side, you give them a thumbs up, the universal signal of reassurance that things are okay, you'll be back. Neither of them are strangers to either the intricacies of the plot or the shenanigans, so they return in unison. You did it. You got him a good end. Dirk Schreider is your friend, you think. As you fall through nothingness, Dave can take it from there. Guess that sword isn't just for show. He really knows how to use it. You go flying out of frame, out of this volume, and straight into the epilogue. No, not the epilogue. God, this is impossible. You can't believe you are the main character of such a stupid story. He launches you straight into the post-game? Final chapter? Afterward? Or, wait, afterward? Both of them look weird. Anyway, he launches you into the afterward, which seems to just be that drifting gray space between universes. But this time, you aren't standing in a corridor, you're hurtling along it like a protagonist-shaped missile. This is not going to end well. Sorry, T-posing God person, this really isn't your fault. Actually, that's an A-pose. Common mistake. Just trying to help. You brace for whatever hellish experience is waiting for you when you hit the event horizon. What the... We're back in Scratch's place. Your whole body aches, not physically, more thematically, like you got bitch-slapped straight in the meta-narrative and body back to the beginning. Oh shit, are you literally at the beginning? Did you forget everything again? Quick, hemospectrum, trolls, incestuous... That's the third one. That's the third... Like, if we're doing, like, order of importance of memories, that's number 3. Beck, the fucking Madrigogs, truth, relevance, and sensuality. Ooh, you remember. So, here you are again. I guess it makes sense that Doc Scratch was behind it all in the end. Maybe he and Ultimate Dirk have been working together this whole time. Hey, you round, shiny son of a bitch, show yourself! You receive no response. The plush green room is still. In the corner, the clock has stopped. Wait, what was that? The sound of a struggle drifts from deeper in the house. Oh, balls. Is Spade Slick here to beat the shit out of Doc Scratch? But you thought that happened at the beginning of the game. Maybe you really have been transported back to square one. But nothing's on fire. Spade Slick set the place on fire, right? Shit, why do so many things happen in this goddamn comic? There are just too many details to remember. You follow the sound of the ruckus, turning a corner down a long, wood-paneled hallway. A door stands open at the end of it, where 2 people appear to be locked in an intense struggle. Hey, listen, we can talk about this. You edge closer down the corridor. The mirrors on the walls watch you like eyes. Clearly you have made some bad decisions, I'll grant you that. The man currently hangs onto the door jamb for dear life. Both sounds and looks familiar, but you are kind of having a hard time focusing on him. It makes your head swing. Okay, yes, I agree that I need to take a break, but please don't put me in here with that wolf head. It's out for my blood. I don't know if I can hold it off for long. The second figure, a woman maybe, appears unmoved by the man's pleas. You have no idea what's going on here, but one thing you do know is that you can't just allow random broads to throw dudes into rooms against their will. Hey, you shout down the corridor. Both the man and the woman turn to look at you. The combined power of their gaze forces you to your knees. It hits you in the same tender place that Ultimate Dirk's strike had, right in the narrative. The woman takes that chance to shove the man into the room and slam the door.
Sorry about that. He won't bother us anymore.
Is that dialogue? Who the fuck is this? Is this the creator of this game? The sound of her voice vibrates all the way into your skull. It's her. She's the one who's been doing this to you, who's been stopping you from going back to visit your friends, who's been manipulating you, just like Doc Scratch did.
Oh, come on. I'm not that bad.
Can you guys hear?
At least I hope I'm not. By the way, unmute me if you haven't bothered to already. The music in this section rules. Besides, voiceover in RenP is extremely annoying. Did you know you have to save every line as a different .ogg file? I didn't even know what a .ogg file was until our programmer explained it to me. Actually, wow, this is a huge pain in the ass. Let's go back to text only.
That's better. Okay, so this is the creator of this game, I'm assuming. You're literally falling to pieces. Every part of your body is literally sliding apart and falling into others. It's just like being hit by the house juju. Your corporeal form is not meant for this much meta-narrative bullshit. You just aren't made for it. Oh, come on, you're fine. She paps you on the cheek and suddenly it's true. You're fine. She made it so. She must be magic. Not quite. Get up, King. Oh my god, you dropped your crown. Get up, King. You do slowly. For some inexplicable reason, you are more scared of her than you'd been of Ultimate Dirk, or of Doc Scratch, or anyone else. You have a feeling she might be the real danger here. She laughs. It's not a villainous laugh, but it's not exactly a nice one either. I guess that's fair. I'm definitely not a hero. Or maybe I am a hero, and the dude I just shoved into that cupboard with the wolf head is the real villain. Or it's the other way around, and evil has triumphed. You tell her that you don't remember her from the comic you read. Yeah, you wouldn't. Don't worry about it. You can call me the director. And you're right. All of this is my fault. All of this? Yeah, I'm the reason you couldn't reach your friends, and I'm the reason your memories got wiped. What? Why would she do that? Because I wanted to try something, and it wouldn't have worked if you had gone in with an open mind. Could you really have made the friends with any of these kids if you'd known what had them waiting for what they had waiting for them at the end of the line? Wow, my brain could not register that sentence. Your snap response is an overwhelming yes. Of course you could. You can make friends with anyone, but you know deep down that isn't true. Could you really have looked John in the eyes if you'd seen him get bored by a video game monster and then lose his virginity in the back of... Oh, we didn't have... Why did we bring this? Why do we have to bring that up? Why do we have to bring that up? Could you really have talked to Jade like a normal person, if you knew she was going to grow up to be a half-dog goddess, could you have resisted throwing Rose and Kanaya together the first chance you got? Could you have handled becoming friends with Equius, Nepeta, or Pfefferi, knowing what was coming for them? God, could you have stood to be in the same room as Gamzee or Aridin? Right? Making friends with people when you know how their story ends isn't something we're equipped to do. It's like meeting a celebrity, hard to be normal. You tell the director that you don't think any of this is very normal. She laughs. Yeah, you're smart. That's why I like you, MSPA reader. What? Who? That's not your name. Your name is... Hey, come on now. Leave something for the sequel. The truth is, I used you, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm also not sorry. Because these kids were born to suffer. That's what they're for. I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. Destiny wrapped its thick, inky tentacles around them and pulled them into a story without happy endings. But you changed that. You gave them a chance to grow up. Wait, you did that? But you remember the other story, the real one. The one that just ended with everything falling to shit. Are you saying that all that didn't happen? No, it happened. Well, it didn't actually happen because none of this is happening. Creators all the way down and such like. But you made this story, and nobody can take that away from you. Oh my god, shut up. I can't handle this anymore. We are getting in so many fucking levels deep in the meta-narrative here. The director looks, for the first time, just a little bit worried. She covers it up quickly, however, and regains her placid stance and neutral indifference. You want a real villain? This guy right here. This is so fucking stupid, even for all of you. I'm aware of that. How dare you? You're gonna lecture me on audacity? Come on, man. You're not even real. And yet you keep talking to me. Wow, you feel like you shouldn't be here for this, possibly. You always kind of feel awkward when authority figures fight. I'm not here for her. I'm here for you. We weren't done talking. Then why did you cut the damn UI in half? I got a little overzealous. It happens. Sorry about that, by the way. You shrug. Whatever. You've had worse. Still, you don't feel very well disposed towards this guy at this point, knowing all the garbage he's done and will probably keep doing, although you aren't sure if the director is any better. I'm much, much better than him.
See? See what I can do? Can Dirk Strider do this? Can he talk with an actual human voice?
Get fucked. See? Come on, you're at least a little happy to see me. Stop flexing at me. I have a wife. For a man so devoted to swords, don't you think it's going against your character to have such enormous guns? What, these? Oh, they're not mine, just an artifact of the medium. I'd say thanks, but I feel like you all got more out of it than me. Stop flirting with my audience, you anime-ass motherfucker. Hey, you're in charge. I wouldn't look like this if you didn't want me to. I actually let the artist have a lot of creative license. Nice evasion. Shut the fuck up. Okay, this bullshit doesn't matter. What does matter is that he directs his anime gaze back at you. This isn't just about Dirk anymore. You're zapping around and ruining everything. I seriously can't even begin to unravel the utter saturine shitpile you've created. You have absolutely decimated everyone's character arcs and motivation. Seriously, Aridin got a gender arc? Come on, man. There's actually plenty of seeding for that storyline in the comic proper. Aridin's relationship to femininity is really... Do you realize what you've done here? You've completely stolen their destinies from them. Yes, you did, but now they've got a chance to be actual teenagers and grow up in a world that isn't trying to murder them constantly. Well, Alternia is still doing that, but at least they won't be in a hostile video game environment. You've ruined them, but they're happy. Happy people don't get stories told about them. That isn't true. That can't be true. You look to the director for help. Surely she knows what to say. After all, this happened on her watch. She isn't looking at you. She's looking at the ground. She knew what she was doing the whole time. She knew how it would have to shake out. Well, when were you planning to tell them? I was getting there. She knows that the prince knows what he's talking about. Nobody has thought more about the causation and narrative flow than he has. Fuck, you shake your head there. For a second it felt like things got a little screwy. Hey! She claps her hand in Ultimate Dirk's face. Cut that shit out. Leave them alone. Then stop wasting my time. She sighs. Fine. She appears to gather herself, folding her hands in front of her like she's about to recite a poem. This has been a really interesting experiment, and I'm glad we got to do it. I've definitely learned a lot. But look, I need you to go back and give the beta to John. Because without that, they never play the game. The story never gets told. You never read the story. And you were never here. Wait, this isn't just another timeline? A Doom timeline or whatever the fuck? The director shakes her head. No, it's a retcon. What you'd be doing here would be ruining the Alpha timeline into a Doom timeline. And since the story has technically ended, and started again, and then ended, and then started again so many times, switching tracks at this point would corrupt it beyond recognition. You would literally cause a paradox so catastrophic that it would literally tear the multiverse apart. You mean like the Scratch? Worse than the Scratch, this would be the blackout. Utter ruin. But wait, you already threw the bait in this goddamn sewer. Shouldn't this have already happened? This utter ruin? No, because you still have the power to go back and change it. If you decide not to act, then we have to worry. You look back and forth between Ultimate Dirk and the director, trying to find a way out, some indication that they're fucking with you. They don't seem to like each other much, but they do appear to be joined in their insistence that this utter ruin bullshit is going to happen unless you